right, guys. What's good? What's good? What's good, everybody? Week 2 of the NFL season is upon us. Browns versus Ravens. Let me get that full screen on. That's not it.
So I think he got a chance to enjoy that, just as our producer Jonathan Siegel got a chance to enjoy that in the production cabinet.
Yeah, love to see some Flacco jerseys out there. These people love him and certainly appreciate what he did here, and they should.
Well, they're going to see him get the football first. The Browns will receive. Baltimore won the
Browns are receiving first.
All right, Ross, give you a little idea about Joe Flacco at 40.
Here he comes, man. Curious to hear what the crowd sounds like. But now there's an injury, actually.
He got injured.
Well, the injury obviously slows things up a little bit, but he's popped up and gone over to the side of the field. It was Ali. All right, so here's his numbers.
Yeah, I think that the injury might have muted the reaction a little bit for Flacco, as Ali is still walking out. The big thing is he played really well last week. Both those interceptions, Tom, really well.
All right. Let's see how this goes. Juckins starting the game. And nice little get there by David and Njoku. I'm working on getting the scoreboard on.
Ball out of his hand quickly. Well, it was interesting. He told us yesterday he thinks he's still improving in some ways in terms of recognizing the defense, getting the ball out quickly. The Ravens actually came with a blitz with Roquan Smith there. They're trying to speed up Flacco's process, but he was all over.
So down in 4. Fannin in the ball game, left side of the offensive line. The outstanding tight end. Flacco to throw. He's got
Fannin. First reception. And hard to take down there. Gets to the 40. Browns moving early with some easy stuff underneath. We talked about it. The Ravens zone coverage last week. Very loose. So there might be some opportunities there to take advantage of if you're Cleveland, if you can kind of lean in on this. All right, so Juckins' first carry is negative.
Is out today. He got
Yeah, Jack being out is going to be a big deal. I'm not seeing chat either.
Who's a pretty experienced guy. Will be there, but that might have been partially his responsibility with Roquan Smith running through on that play. Lucas is a pretty good pass blocker, but that needs to run blocker.
All right, 3rd and 12 for Sampson. Little screen here. Oh, good tackle by Kyle Hamilton. That's going to bring us back 3rd and 14. Yeah, Kyle just blew it off. Yeah, they get the blitz here they're looking for. It's just Kyle Hamilton just terrorizes this play by triggering downhill. He just sees it. Hey, he's the best player on the Ravens defense. Nah, they're going to sim. False start. All right.
Here and DeJuan Jones, when you're 6'8", 370, I promise they notice if you move a little bit early, like he did there. It's interesting, by the way, Tom. More pre-snap penalties last year than the NFL had since 2007. It's a problem, especially early in the season.
All right. On the 30, just check it down. Yeah. Let's get a good punt here.
he was receiving last week. And this is a high punt.
All right. So you got him pinned back in good field position at least. Wasn't a complete loss. You at least won some field position. I'll be right back. All right, we're going to get the scoreboard up now.
Jason Kelsey watched every game every Sunday all in one place. But how much NFL in one place? What have you done? NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV every game. This is painless.
McDonald's is putting value back on the menu, which means make it a meal and save. Extra value meals are back. So now, get a sausage McMuffin with that meal for $5.
Taking a career black tie. Being on tour is tough. That's pretty unique.
All right, defense needs to get going early today. I think they're going to be really aggressive. The bold strategy versus Lamar. But I think against a player like him, you got to be bold, right?
Back here in Baltimore, where Lamar Jackson will lead the Ravens offense onto the field, Ross, for the first time.
It's not often you can say that a two-time MVP is getting better, but that's absolutely the case with Lamar Jackson. Record-setting year a year ago, and last Sunday night against Buffalo, he was almost flawless. Just incredible again to lead the NFL in both passer rating and yards rushing for a quarterback. That's a crazy double for any player.
Field position here, 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line of Baltimore. Derek
Aiden Huntington? Oh, no, that's Collins. My bad. Good stuff.
Also Devin Bush.
Good stuff.
Garrett's going to have some interesting matchups today.
I think they're going to move him around a little bit as well. That time he was right over Ronnie Stanley. We know what the Browns like to do. We know what they have to do. Get up the field, try to cause chaos in the backfield. But Ronnie Stanley's a good player, so I wouldn't be surprised if they move Garrett around. In particular, maybe give him some reps in obvious passing situations against the two guards for the Ravens. Those guys, and Voorhees, they're the weakest part of this Ravens offense.
Miles was talking glowingly about Stanley and how he rebounded last year after the injury. 2nd down and 8, it's Justice Hill with his first touch.
All right, the Browns force a 3rd and long.
After a gain of 2, Mason Graham, the rookie from Michigan, makes the initial hit.
Good job by Mace.
Brings up 3rd and long here for Baltimore. Interesting to see them go with 2 consecutive gun runs to start this game. This is what Schwartz is all about, trying to get teams in obvious passing situations so his guys can just go. Already seeing here, Myles Garrett's over the right tackle, Rosengarten on this one. They've got 3 guys to the right of the center. They're overloading that side.
A big 37 here. Overload here. Not enough pressure. Yeah, not enough pressure. You're going to overload there. You got to get home. Got to disrupt them. Then to get the disruption.
Boy, there's so many good things there. The Ravens turned the whole protection, and a terrific job by Stanley against McGuire. And that's going to be a problem right there for the Browns, right? if Grant Delpit, who's more of a thumper as a safety, if he has to try to run with these slot receivers like, say, Flowers or Wallace across
All right.
the field, that's advantage ball.
First down up to the 24-yard line after a gain of 10. Quick toss to Zay Flowers. Flowers, they like to get him into open space, and he's across the 30 to the 30.
Can't let him get rolling downhill. Cannot let him get rolling down.
He had a career high on Sunday night, 143 yards against Buffalo. Wide open on a lot of crossing routes, but they love to get him the ball in any way they can, right? You see, first Raven receiver ever to make the Pro Bowl is just wild if you think about it. Since they're celebrating 30 years, but they like to get him the ball in space any way they can.
2nd and 3. Maybe some play action here. Nope, they're going to run it, and they're going to get to him. Mason Graham again. Big Mace. That's big. That pushes that back to a 3rd and medium. Yeah, got on Falele there. 1-on-1 just splits the 2. Good job, Mace. All right, let's get home here. Let's get home here. We're going to be aggressive. Let's get home here. 3rd and 7.
LeVar brings Flowers in motion, and he lofts one toward.
Nah, that's not coming. Good defense. Good defense. Way to get off the field. Good job. Get the offense back out there.
Joe Flacco will get another opportunity with decent field position also, as Jordan Stout will punt the ball away.
You know, watching the tape last
Good defense, man.
so far in this game, this Browns defense is legit.
Really good.
I don't want to speak too soon in this game against the Ravens offense, but very, very impressed watching Cleveland's defense fly around on tape last week.
Isaiah Bond back deep to receive.
That's new.
And they kick it away from him. It takes a nice Ravens bounce inside the 15-yard line. Actually, they're going to mark it around the 18. Joe Flacco and the Browns going back to work when we return.
Looks like Quincy's coming out there again.
They're also one of America's largest financial services companies, too. Just like I'm so much more than Peyton Manning. I'm also motivated, Manning. I want everyone here to know that you, too, can be so much more.
Yeah, I thought it was a good showing by Mason Graham there. Great showing by Mason.
Kind of a niche skill set, but I believe it. Your insurance and financial nationwide is on your side.
That stuff's working.
Okay, let's a freak hailstorm hit, cracking this room's windshield and causing the next
Whew.
Inside, they were greeted by Edmonds' warm welcome, a blank stare, big eyes, and a TV showing football no one wanted to change, ever. So they pulled out the BetMGM app and put together a live parlay. But what would the fourth thing be? Big. Soon the whole bar was pulling for that.
Good job defensively, right? We talked about it last week. The pressure wasn't there early. They weren't getting behind the line of scrimmage early. Late, they obviously did that. This week, early in the game, getting started, right? Not letting Baltimore get into their script. Got our first super chatter today from Chris Custafaro, who says, key with Henry is that you got to get him before he gets downhill. Yeah, absolutely. It's like controversial every time somebody says this, but every defensive player worth their salt will tell you this. Marlon Humphrey said it before Derrick Henry was his teammate.
Welcome back to
All right, we back.
Stadium here in Baltimore, where the Ravens have the old Memorial Stadium logos in the end zone. Joe Flacco going back to work. He just went over 46,000 yards for his career. So let's take a look at Flacco at age 40.
Well, there's a reason why Browns fans love him, and there's a reason why Kevin Stefanski loves him. You know, he has played very well with the opportunities he's been given in Cleveland. He's a perfect fit for Stefanski's offense. Remember, Stefanski was around Brett Favre when Favre was 40, and he talked about, like, some guys can just throw the ball.
Here's Judkins with his second run, and he gets positive yards. Up
Good
to
burst.
14. Speaking of Judkins, the second-round pick, he signed his rookie deal just last Saturday for the Browns. The running back on Wednesday met with NFL officials reviewing his case under the league's personal conduct policy. Prosecutors last month, Ross, chose not to pursue charges against Judkins in an alleged
second and
domestic
6.
incident. So he hadn't been around the club, the team, since June.
That guy has had one padded practice in the NFL, and it was Thursday after his whole training camp. Fascinating to see his usage today.
Yeah, Kevin Stefanski told us he does have a number in mind. He didn't tell us what that number was. As Flacco overthrows.
All right, 3rd and 6.
It was Isaiah Bonds. Kyle Hamilton in on the coverage. So we'll keep an eye on.
Look at what Baltimore's doing. They're marrying Nate Wiggins with Kyle Hamilton right now.
Skill guys playing with Joe Flacco. He really loves 44. Harold Fannin, who's right there in the wing position. Keep your eye on 44 wherever he goes.
Yeah, 3rd down and 6. He could be used by Flacco. Who looks left, throws left, passes.
Oh, he dropped it. Good tackle by Marlon.
Marlon Humphrey, right side of your screen. He's going to sit on this route. That is beautiful. See him
Yeah, that's a great play by Marlon.
He's coming up to make the play. Made all again last year, and he had a lot to say this week.
Yeah, he
Very,
did.
very frustrated with how the
Marlon just jars at that ball. It's a great play by Marlon.
The defensive guys talked about maturity, but it's maturity within the game more than anything else. As the Borges will put it away. And Wester back deep to receive. He'll let it bounce, picks it up. And he gets some positive yards. He still has speed.
Ooh, good tackle. Oh, God. That was almost bad.
Big time special teams tackle by Rashawn Jenkins. Got him by the shoe tops.
Yeah, all that was left there was Corey Bojorquez, man. That was that close to being a touchdown.
Welcome to Visible, the ultimate wireless hack.
Not the best start for the Browns. I mean, could be worse. You could have given up points on the first drive, but oh my goodness. Somebody called that that's not a drop, y'all. Would that happen with Cedric Tillman? There is not a drop. And this isn't to defend Cedric Tillman. It's just so people know what a drop is. A drop is if you don't catch the football, and the only reason you didn't catch the football was because you didn't catch the football. It's not because you were diving. It's not because the ground affected the catch. Those aren't drops. If a defensive player breaks up the pass, that's a pass breakup. That's not a drop. That's just a good play by Marlon Humphrey. Yeah, it's just a good play.
We'll line up to see him.
The Ravens are a good football team, too. I don't know if you guys have heard, right? But the Ravens are pretty good at football. They're going to make plays, right? Like, this is going to be what you have to do. They're going to make plays. You got to make some plays back. We talk about football as if the other team doesn't matter so much. And it's just such a wrong way to do it. They're going to affect your ability to execute. That's the whole reason why the defense is out there. And that was an example of Marlon Humphrey making it almost impossible for the offense to execute because he made a great play. Got to give credit where credit's due.
Is sponsored by Lowe's. Tackle your to-do list early with Lowe's to earn your Sunday. And by Verizon. The NFL is powered by Verizon 5G.
So back here at Baltimore, it is a gorgeous day for football. John Harbaugh, who was a rookie coach when Joe Flacco was a rookie football player, his 18th season, 172 wins under his belt.
It's funny, we said to him Friday, did you think 18 years later that you'd still be coaching the Ravens and Joe Flacco would be the quarterback you're going against? He said that was not on the bingo card, that's for sure.
Excellent field position. You saw Andrews go in motion. Remember, Isaiah Likely is still out for the Ravens as another tight end. Pass is complete. It's Bateman.
Denzel's got to make that tackle.
Talking about Joe Flacco and Lamar.
That part of the field, Denzel has to make those tackles, right? They got the ball in the 20. That tackle gets 10 yards. It gets them to the 30. That's not a big deal. When they start the drive on the 50, you got to get that tackle. You got to be tighter than that because 10 yards can get you the field goal range.
Nature, he's been the quarterback here for 11 years. Obviously wanted to keep playing for a while, and the Ravens more or less said, hey, we don't think you're good enough anymore. We're going to move on from you. So you can tell, that Flacco, maybe that even motivates him a little bit.
Joe even admitted, he said, listen, I'm human when it comes to things like that. First down from 39. Jackson pumps once, now goes to
Missed him.
Denzel.
I think Denzel would have recovered.
It's funny. Lamar said about Joe, he said
That ball was close.
About him, he said his humility and his personality. He said in the video room, he said he was funny. He was cool. He said he's just a great guy.
A sack here would be huge, man.
My first year.
It's so funny that everybody you talk to in the Ravens organization, the first thing they say is how cool Joe is. Then they call him calm and collected, Joe Cool. Yeah, I go back to Montana in the 80s, so it's weird to hear everybody calling him Joe Cool, but it certainly fits Flacco's demeanor.
They've brought
him a couple times. They just changed the protection here.
Good upfield, Aiden Huntington. Make the tackle, make the tackle. Denzel's not tackling well. Denzel's got to be on that. This was something that happened in week 1. He was a little timid, more timid than he normally is to tackle. I wonder if this is to help him avoid concussions. But this one right here, he usually attacks that a lot stronger than that. Kind of just let it go by him. Let what should be a 3rd and 7 be a 3rd and 1.
Andrews under center will keep it and go. And he's got a first down. That's not a form of the tush push there, is it?
No, but it's very smart. It's a way to get a bigger body to do the quarterback sneak.
Hold him to a field goal.
I think everybody knew it was coming, and Andrews does it very, very well. The linebacker's a little bit late to react to Andrews being underneath center.
Ball's moved to the 28-yard line. 3's first down so far for the Ravens. Chewing up some clock. They began with excellent field position, and they've got 2 tight ends on the right side of the offensive line. Henry's hit at the line of scrimmage and pulled down Isaiah McGuire. Time to check in with Adam Schein in New York.
All right, Tom McCarthy. Ravens fans know that the Bills finished strong, obviously, on Sunday nights. Like James Cook, they pick up where they left off. 7-0 Buffalo. Tom, back to you.
All right, got him behind the line of scrimmage a little bit here. Hopefully they continue to do that. Their ball on the 30. This would be, if they stop them, these next 2 downs right here. Be about a 45-yard field goal. They got to come play action soon. Browns are triggering really hard downhill. Yep, play action.
The pursuer, Isaiah McGuire. And that gave Jackson a little chance to dump it off.
Yeah, McGuire's about to get Lamar, but good job by Derrick Henry. Kevin has revolutionized the sneak across the NFL. Oh, with the tight end?
That's exactly how you want a running back to do that. Gives Lamar enough time. And not only
all right, 3rd and 7. This is manageable. You can get this. Miles and A-gap.
7 Bills in the game. Henry's out, as you saw. Lamar, slant. Couldn't get Bateman. He threw it.
Missed it on the choice route. Forced the field goal. That's very good. I'm fine with that, right? You give him the ball on the 50. yeah, you would hope to keep points out, get a 3 and out, but you're not going to do that too much against the Ravens. You then, hold them to a field goal here when they're in plus situation to start the drive. Look, that return was a shoestring away from being 7 points for Baltimore. The fact that they're just getting a 3-point attempt is a huge win for Rashawn Jenkins and his defensive unit right now. And Luke, he makes it. So that's going to go in. But, yeah, 3 points here, you'll take it. The slower and lower scoring this game is, the more it favors Cleveland, right? Because we know what's going to happen in the second, third, fourth quarter when the Browns are still going to be fresh on that defensive line. And the Baltimore Ravens, they're running the same 5 guys out there. Maybe they lose a guy during the game for a period of time. Attrition starts to set in. That's where the Browns can really attack you with that defense in the second half of this game. So the slower and lower pace, the more manageable this game is for the first 2 quarters, the more it helps the Browns' chances to win. Obviously, the offense has to get something going, put some points on the board. Obviously, you want that to happen, but before you get there, you want to see some other pieces come in line too. So right now, the pace of the game overall is going the way that you want it if you're Cleveland. Even though you're down by 3, this is the pace that you want. By the way, thank you, Dragon, for the super chat, saying Kevin has revolutionized the sneak across the league. It's funny because everybody does that, and it feels like we're not that good at it. All right, good return. And let's get this ball back. Let's get something going here.
Ravens, the kickoff return, so the punt return set up the field goal for Baltimore. How about some bulletin board material this week in the National Football League, Ross?
Well, for the Browns, Jerry Jeudy, Grant Delpit, especially Grant Delpit. Let me just tell you what I'm not doing. Saying anything bad about having Derrick Henry ever. Although talking with the Browns players and coaches, they said what's said is said. We got to go out there and back it up. Clearly, the Ravens were well aware of the comments from Cleveland this week.
Yeah, Kevin Stefanski said, it's good fodder, it's good talk. But Joe Flacco said, but when that happens, you've got to rally around your teammates when they do say stuff like that.
Yeah, and I know that people say, it doesn't really matter once the game starts inside the white line, but I can tell you, if a D lineman was running out in his mouth, that'd be a guy we would want to get after early in the game.
So that's going to be a neutral zone infraction. For who? Yep, that's going to be 45, right? Yes, good. Yeah, short kick by Luke. So what that penalty is, for those of you who don't know, there is a landing zone that the kick has to fall into. You can't just kick it out the back of the end zone. You can't just kick it short. You got to kick it in the landing zone, which I think is from the goal line to the 20-yard line. You got to kick it there. If you don't kick the ball and have it land in the landing zone, that's going to be basically a kick out of bounds, and that's going to be a 40-yard a penalty that puts the ball on the 40 for the starting offense.
Are a little underappreciated, they feel. Good field position.
So good field position for Cleveland here. Man, Roquan Smith, good job there. Yeah, he kind of hid behind the tight end and then clamped on it. It's a great pursuit by him.
4 on the play.
That's the second tackle for loss.
You can't get behind the sticks that early.
The leader of this Ravens defense played 85 of the 87 snaps last week, and he's playing next to 2 linebackers that are rotating. He admitted that's a little bit difficult. He's not used to it. Not really know what he's doing, who's going to be next to him from play to play.
But he did say it's part of his leadership that he's going to help them out. second down. Flacco off his back leg. Pass is incomplete. Intended for Bonds. It'll be third down.
Second time that the Ravens have brought late secondary pressure and forced Flacco to get rid of the ball before he wanted to, and yet another third and very.
Yeah, they're basically playing a lot of soft coverage downfield, so they're making it hard to attack downfield.
The ball down the field very much. Again, I'm expecting the Ravens to play a softer zone coverage and let Flacco check it down the field and then make the tackle.
Jimmy's at the top of your screen if you think they might open up a little bit. Flacco drops back to pass. He's lofting it toward the near sideline.
Nothing. Yeah, they're doubling everything deep down the field and just kind of sitting on stuff. The Browns just really ain't got an answer right now.
Tried that deep quarter route. Close. The coverage was fantastic, and both times he just airmailed the ball out of bounds. A heck of a lot better than that.
Wessner, who only had one punt return last week, where he returned it for positive yards. The other punt return was a fair catch. We'll have another opportunity here. He's just going to say, get away, as it bounces out of bounds.
About at the 20.
Back with 2:10 to play.
Where's that ball going to be?
Baltimore with the ball.
Looks like a
right
21.
after this.
Both offenses starting off a little slow here. Both defenses providing sufficient challenges right now. Might be a defensive game. Might be that kind of defensive game today. Dragon says, Q, outside of Mendoza, these 2026 quarterbacks are looking awful. I thought Childs looked fine. Who else did I think of? Nussmeier, he looked fine. Lenoris, he got a concussion halfway through that South Carolina game. But, I mean, when it comes to that 2026 class, again, we're going to know November who's going to be coming out later, right? Like, we got to let the conference part of the schedule play out here. So, big week. Right now, I think the Browns need to get the ground game going, right? Like, they're really squeezing everything up top. They're not letting the Browns get anything going downfield. That's because they're not really respecting the Browns' run game. I think if you're Cleveland, you just really need this run game to start going, you know? You think this is the final year for Kevin to prove he's the guy to lead the team? I don't think Kevin has to prove anything this year. I think they're going to keep him regardless of what the record is, if I'm being honest with you.
Nothing, and they'll have it at the 22-yard line. All right, Lamar's
I think they feel like Kevin has proved enough over his 5 years here. Some of y'all might disagree with that assessment. I'm just telling you what the team probably feels because that's just what the vibe is.
Pinpoint accurate passer for the most part.
He talked about the Browns always providing chaos. Are they providing chaos against him so far?
Well, I think they've done a good job a couple times, especially against the run, but on both of those throws right there, he had plenty of time.
Well, it'll be first down. The other part of it, too, is they probably have to figure out a way to get Derrick Henry involved. 3 carries, -5 so far. Last year, he averaged 56 yards in the 2 games against the Browns.
DJ Lagway needs to transfer to Ohio State and throw to Smith next year. Florida is ruining him. And Miles and Cam Thomas with a big sack on Lamar Jackson here. Thank you for the super chat, Rex.
The other piece.
Well, this is the value of having Myles Garrett, okay, coming off the edge. He gets favorable matchups for the other guy.
Yeah, this beats Ronnie Stanley inside, outside switch. Just good stuff here.
That is not a good play.
And Cam Thomas, great rip on Roger Rosengarten right there. Just gets underneath him. And a half sack for Myles Garrett. Start this game. They're going to run here, right?
second down. They hand it off.
And Myles Garrett again.
Nailed him in the backfield. It's a
I'm telling you, this is the best I've ever seen Myles Garrett look, man. He looks like he's taken a leap this year, and he's already won Defensive Player of the Year, and you can argue he should have won it last year.
To overset with how heavy he was coming
3rd and
forward.
21.
Goes right around him. I mean, the guy is single-handedly ruining this series for Baltimore. 3rd and 21. If you're the Browns, you got to play soft. Cannot let them throw the ball over the top.
And by the way, Garrett's lined up over the guard right now on the left side. And he jumps.
They just tried to get him on a hard count. Yeah, so Dragon says, oh my God, Myles. It's been a pretty good few plays for him. Gets a penalty there.
I think he was very excited to have a chance to rush against the right.
But this is the Browns' plan, right? Let the game wear on. We're going to be fresher than your guys, right? At every end of the quarter situation.
Dancing in his head.
Let's finish it. Let's get off the field here. 3rd and 16 is gettable for Lamar.
16. Jackson underneath to Hill. Hill.
Got him. Good job. Good job, Grant. Great tackle. Great tackle by Grant. All right. All right. They're going to let that run down to the quarter break. We have some picks that I want to go over as we get to that quarter break in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. I want to remind everybody this stream is brought to you by Sleeper in part of my partnership with Sleeper. We're going to be looking at some picks today. I think we have a good shot hitting these picks today. Zay Flowers, I have him at 4.5 receptions over that. I think we can get that. Derrick Henry under 94 yards. I think the Browns are going to be able to do that. Josh Allen just got him over a passing yard. Pretty sure that hit already. And then Joe Flacco, the 23.5 completions. That's going to be the one. I think him and Derrick Henry, those are going to be the two ones that, going to be the most difficult. But those are the picks that we're going to be tracking throughout this game. And if you want to join the fun on Sleeper, make sure that you use the promo code WORSTTAKE. Use promo code WORSTTAKE. Get a up to 100% match on up to $100 when you deposit on Sleeper. Also, man, check out the stuff. Fantasy Football League is great on Sleeper. I think they do have a nice little news feed there, too. You can get the scores on the Sleeper app. A lot of stuff there. Make sure you check the app out. If you want to join the fun here, then make sure you use promo code WORSTTAKE. Get 100% match up to $100 when you use my promo code. Nick says, let's get the run game going. Lucas worries me. I mean, you got to get something cracking, right? Because what Baltimore is doing right now is they're just playing quarters. They're sitting back. They're not worried about the run game. They're not sending extra bodies there. They're using those extra bodies to squeeze everything downfield, force you down, to funnel you down to these check downs so they can rally and tackle you to the ball. And right now they're getting a lot of TFLs off of that. And they're putting you behind the sticks and putting you in a situation where you can't really break the shell. You got to break the shell if you're Cleveland, right? You got to just run at it and punish them for it. You got to get some success on the ground. If you do that, you'll free up some stuff downfield. You'll have a much better day. But right now, it's going to be tough to break it if you can't get the run game going. Myles is terrorizing Lamar. Look, Lamar Jackson himself has said there is one man who gives him problems in the NFL. That man is Myles Garrett.
What's always crazy about that, Tom, is that's all the Ravens talked about on the offensive line all week is we can't let 95 wreck the game, and he certainly wrecked that series for Baltimore.
So Bond back deep to receive at the 21-yard line. And Stout on the punt. Gets that one off. There was a little pressure coming. Bond comes from it, running up, and catch that falls down. Let's check in with Adam Shine with an update.
All right, so Jamar Chase scored a touchdown. Cool. 1st and 10. Start the second quarter here. They got to get the ground game going. Got to get some push. Got to be more violent here.
See if he gets him involved on this series. Rookie tight ends, rookie bow-legged tight end.
Go.
He's trying to get to the edge, and Jenkins does have the speed to do so.
All right. There we go. Positive run.
It's a gain of about 8 yards.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is he was there for the OTAs and the mini camp, so the mental part of it he should have down. But I still think it's amazing to see a guy out there with one padded practice in his entire NFL career starting and getting reps like this. I'm curious to see if they use him on third down and how much he's handling because he got
Who would you take in next year's draft right now? I don't know. Hold on. All right, 3rd is short. Who would I take in next year's draft today? I don't know. I don't know what, Caleb Downs?
Well, what's interesting is the other rookie running back, Dylan Sampson, started to run out onto the field because he's the third down back. But they
Nah, short yardage.
stick with a heavy set here. Extra offensive linemen. So the Ravens will counter with their big guys.
And don't forget, they've got the defensive lineman, Aiden Huntington, the former fullback in high school, who's in the game. That's him in motion. Jenkins.
And he's got it.
He's got the first down.
Ooh, and a stiff arm on him. Huh?
40-yard line. Humphrey made the tackle.
All right, he looks like he's warming up a little bit.
And a fellow rookie, watch 44 fanning in the backfield.
Yeah, good job crunching down on 95. Antonio gets out there and then finishes business right there for Quincy Judkins. And again, the Browns doing exactly what they needed to on this drive. They need to run this ball. They need to get him out that shell. All right, let's put Dylan Sampson in now. He's got to be tired, right?
Talked about the pitch count on Judkins and Kevin Stefanski said he has a number in mind, but we all know that if he starts rolling, that number may increase.
All right, 2nd and 8.
Judkins, 21 years old, Ohio State and Ole Miss, the 36th pick overall. He had over 1,500 yards at Ole Miss as a freshman and over 1,000 in Ohio State.
Yeah, he looked tired as hell. Ken says, if the Browns keep this up, it'll destroy my fantasy. But a fantasy loss means the Browns win. I'll happily make that sacrifice. Yeah, brother, I got Derrick Henry too. Good pickup. Good pickup.
He picked it up, Ross, but he ran him right on over.
Well, he's got to do better than this, okay? Watch.
This is the best I've seen Roquan Smith play in a long time. He must have got my somebody must have sent him my AFC North Talk clips. It's the most meaningful football he's played in a while. Like, he's actually making an impact today. Big 3rd and 8 here. If the Browns can convert, this would be huge. They're going to keep playing the field position game.
Pretty good pressure again from the Ravens. They ran a stunt to that right side. And credit Matabike for making sure he was there for contain in case Flacco elected to run, which he does not do very often.
Wester back deep to receive. Borges will pump the ball away. He's been busy today. Both punters have been rather busy. Oh, it's close. And the Ravens will pick it up.
What happened? Oh, don't tell me our fucking punter's hurt.
Sanusi Kane, the second-year pro at Purdue, was in the right place at the right time. And Borges is hurt.
Right, watch Hummel, okay? They stunt, and he comes around.
What happened?
35 Hummel, he's got a calf.
Yeah, was that was Hickman who just got blown up there. The Ravens made a play here. Oh, and he got rolled into on his plant leg. That does not look good. This is not the kind of game you want to be without a punter on. We're going to have to make a play back. That was a huge play by their special team. Oh, he fumbled. He fumbled.
I think the Ravens may have recovered, and Ronnie Hickman knocked it loose.
Ah, he got it.
Ross, he only had one fumble last year, and remember, he fumbled last week against the Bills.
Yeah. Cam Mitchell forced the fumble.
Cam Mitchell with the peanut punch. This is crazy. Derrick Henry had, to your point, Tom, one fumble over the last 2 seasons. Then he had a costly fumble Sunday night against Buffalo. Ball was out. Browns missed a golden opportunity to recover that. Didn't see him recover it by the Ravens, but terrific hustle from them.
On second down and one off the play fake. Lamar looking to throw first to the end.
All right, offense got to score now. Special teams force your hand. Offense has to score now.
For Lamar Jackson.
Tyler Loss comes inside and then goes back outside.
Kept playing with fire. You got to get some points on the board now.
It's a problem for the Cleveland Browns. I think the Ravens know it. You'd much rather pick on the nickel corner than either Newsome or Ward. Love the design of that bootleg. That's a beautiful touchdown for Baltimore.
And now Luke, and you can hear it in the background on for the point after. Good snap, good hold. Kick is right through the middle. And it's 10-0.
Yeah, just the fumble luck there. They punch the ball out. It doesn't go the way you want it to. Hickman gets blown up there. They make a great play on special teams. Right now, they're making the plays. You're not. That's really it. You got to make a big play here. Got to get something going offensively. If you score a touchdown, you get a field goal here, you're fine. But you really don't want to punt with no punter down 10, right? Like, gotta at least give Bajorquez some time to see if he can punt again or figure out what you're gonna do there. Another special teams error. I mean, special teams, it's been the biggest problem of the season so far. What, 6 quarters? We've had 3 horrendous special teams bloopers. I wouldn't even call that last one a blooper. It's just 3 big plays against you made by opposing special teams. Well, that one was just a big play. The other ones were missed field goals. But, yeah, just special teams. It's been biting the Browns in the ass. All 3 phases. Now they look like they might not have a punter for the rest of the game. I don't know who's going to punt. We're going to trust Schmidt to punt. Can Schmidt punt? Like, who's going to punt? So Fainin? I feel like Fainin can punt. I don't know why, but I feel like he can punt for whatever reason. Big drive here, man. Big drive. This is teetering on the edge of ugly, for sure. Teetering on the edge of ugly.
Oh, and the touchdown. Let's take a look at that.
Got to calm this game down.
By Cam Mitchell at the bottom of the screen. His help is Ronnie Hickman in the middle of the field. That help is you can't get beat to the outside. Mitchell is supposed to have outside leverage and funnel everything inside. When Wallace went in motion like that, Mitchell got a little bit discombobulated, but so much of pro football,
We're going to have to sign OBJ to be the emergency punter and kicker.
2016. It's Ford, and Ford gives positive yards. Sunday, October 12th, kickoff CBS Premiere Week with Kathy Bates in her Emmy-nominated role as Matlock. The new season begins Sunday, October 12th on CBS. Well, Joe Flacco started 4 of 4. He's 1 for 7 since. There's the Hummel who blocked that punt.
The third best player on the team just got hurt. Schmidt punted in college some. Guess it's going to have to be Schmidt that punts.
How good you have to be, by the way, for them to still want you out there with a broken hand?
Yeah, no, Bojorquez has his helmet.
So we'll keep an eye on that.
There,
It was intended for Tillman.
it was there. I don't know what happened. Did Wiggins pop it out?
Wiggins kind of got picked on a little bit in the fourth quarter on Sunday night. That was a really nice play by him. He was all over Cedric Tillman. Terrific coverage. Remember, Tillman had a really good game last year in Week 8 between these two teams. Career high 99.
Well, we need something. We need to get something going here.
Second down. The Ravens are showing blitz from the edge. To the 32-yard line. So that sets up a third down.
Not go 3 and out here.
But again, it's 3rd and long. And obviously, no team wants to be in 3rd and long, but especially when you're the Browns. They don't really have a deep threat. Jerry Jeudy's been awfully quiet so far. With the season he had last year, he's got to come through on downs like this. It can't just be another check down. Jeudy and the 3 receiver set at the top has to make a play.
They said there were no challenges this week.
I'll take that back. Jeudy's at the bottom. Single receiver set.
Hey, get the ball off. Got him. Big play, Jerry. Huge. We needed that bad, man. Okay.
Judy's their best receiver by far. Stunner go. Awuzie plays it pretty
Good job.
well. That's a nice back shoulder throw. and
Good
he's
catch by
got
Jerry.
For the ball. Boy, the Browns needed that.
Whoo, we needed that bad.
Gain of 26 yards to the 42-yard line of Baltimore.
That's tough. A back shoulder throw on a stutter go.
They saw Judy's numbers a year ago. Over 1,200 yards. Samson, the birthday boy. Said he wanted touchdowns as a birthday gift. All he's gotten so far is Roquan Smith in his grill.
21 years young today. Not Roquan Smith, Dylan Sampson.
Yeah, Roquan's 28, which isn't too old, by the way.
No, but Roquan's having a day.
Yeah, he's having a day.
This is his 3rd tackle for loss. We're only 6 minutes into the 2nd quarter.
Second down and 11.
All right.
9-minute mark here in the first half.
Let's get a field goal. Let's get driving. Let's get points. Points.
Much there. Let's check in with Amanda with an injury update.
Yeah, punter Corey Bojorquez is out of the Blue Medical tent. He's out here working this out at the moment. It's actually an ankle, guys. He is planning on going back in.
That's good news.
All right, so Corey can punt at least.
A 57-yard with Andre Smith, who missed the chip shot and an extra point.
His long in college was 54 yards. It's 3rd down, 3rd and 8.
Judy alone at the bottom of the screen again.
They just hit an alert. Hey, might be post alert here. Come on, we got to catch that shit. It would have given us a chance to go for it there.
Until it was too late. Judy was
That's a drop. So everybody calling the other one a drop, that's a drop right there.
the chance to make a decision. You're talking about a guy that had 13 drops last year.
We're playing with fire, man. We're playing with fire. Not getting points up, not answering these last 10 points by Baltimore, having our punter with a rolled ankle come out here. We are playing with fire right now. I ain't going to lie.
Does get this one off. Western's back deep to receive. They'll let it go over his head. It bounces at the
Look up.
It's going to be stopped by Delphin.
Got him within the 10. That sinking feeling I get when I realize Tillman might be Greg Little reincarnated. We'll see. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's that bad. I don't think he's Greg Little bad. But there are some things that remind you of Greg Little there. I'm not going to lie. I mean, right now, both sides of the ball, both the special teams and the offense are just letting this defense down, making the defense's life very, very difficult. You know, defense is holding up about as much as you can ask them for, right? Giving up 10 points. Both those 10 points they've given up were on drives that had shortened, that started in positive territory for the Ravens, right? On true drives, the Browns defense has shut down the Ravens. So the defense is holding up and doing what you ask of them, right? 10 points right now is about the best you can get given how this game has rolled out here on special teams. And don't forget, the Ravens got that 3 points off the back of a LeJontay Wester return. So it's really been special teams here. Now, last week, because of the field goal misses, people wanted to fire Bubba Ventrone. I don't think field goal misses has anything to do with the special teams coach. I don't think he's out here teaching the specialists how to do their job. But this is the kind of stuff that you do want your special teams coach to shore up. Punt protection, punt coverage stuff. This is the kind of stuff that goes on Bubba. So special teams right now and the offense not producing at all and leaving so many snaps for the special teams really hurting the Browns right now. With no punter, just let Flacco rip it downfield. Well, if they don't catch it, it's basically a turnover, right? Like that part, the throw it downfield thing kind of requires the Ravens' participation for negative gain, which I don't think they would do. I was really hoping we get Carnell Tate in round 2, but I don't think that's going to happen with this looking like a weaker wide receiver class. Probably. I don't know. We are so far out from the draft right now. I don't know what round guys are going to go in. Like, it's impossible to tell what round somebody's going to go in September, especially at like a wide receiver.
Well, we got one up here.
Like maybe there are some guys that you know are no doubt first rounders, but other than that, it's kind of hard to tell.
It is the day. Ravens, Lamar starts with Henry, and Henry powers his way up to the 10-yard line. It's a gain of maybe 1 on that play.
Boy, did he look good Sunday night. I mean, the Ravens were creating huge holes.
For the first time, Flacco looks old to me. I don't think this is Flacco looking old. I think this is the Ravens being able to kind of sit on their heels in coverage because the Browns can't run the ball right now.
Tom, if that gets in his head a little bit, he's certainly got to be thinking about it and conscious of protecting that ball.
Well, the Bills worried about that. In fact, after they landed from Buffalo, he went right to Derrick Henry's house. You got to tell him, hey, you got to forget about it. 4th and 2, second down and 8. From the goal line, Lamar Jackson.
He bobbled it in the air. All right, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8.
Harden swatted it away.
Good job, Miles.
It'll be 3rd down.
Miles Harden's been doing a nice job. Second-year guy. He's a little bit behind him, but he doesn't quit on the play. Bateman has to catch that the first time. I mean, that's a drop, and that's how the coaches will grade it. But credit Harden for at least being there to get rid of that.
All right, let's get him off the field here.
Is rotating with Cam Mitchell. I think because Harden's a young player, they don't want to put too much on him, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's Harden's job on a full-time basis sooner than later.
For a 7th-round pick. Lamar rolls the pocket, shovels it forward to him.
That's easy.
Trying to get to the marker. There is a flag down at the 1-yard line. I think Kohler is going to be called for something here.
Yeah. They'll take the punt.
Well, Charlie Kohler, it's his job to set the edge there.
Yeah. Just take the
I
punt.
don't want to give Lamar another chance, even though
Just take the
it's not
punt.
going
No, that's right. I mean, they got to punt it over.
All right, good job, defense. Defense has been showing up, been living up to it. Maybe the offense should talk a little bit more shit. They would have showed up a little bit more. Special teams got to do something. We have had bad play from special teams, but the reason we've seen so much of the special teams has been because the offense has been so poor today.
To help the Browns offense. And Bob thought about a fair catch. He's going to let it bounce. It bounces at 48. Certainly takes a Ravens bounce and a Ravens roll.
Yeah, I can't blame him for letting that bounce. That's a good decision. The thing bounced at like the 50. Yeah, I can't blame him for letting that bounce. Yeah, I think bounced at the 52. And it just took a great roll for Baltimore there. Maybe you want him to be more aggressive and catch it. I just don't know if he felt like he had the time to get underneath it. And I don't want to risk a muff, right? When, most of the times that ball's not going to bounce that dramatically. I'm very conservative when it comes to punt coverage, man. Like, I don't care about a great punt return as much as I get pissed about punt being like a punt muffler, right? All right, man. This offense really playing with fire here. Like, really, really, really playing with fire. The more and more we end these drives with punts, the bigger the fire is that we're playing with. We got to get some fucking points. Okay? There's no way around it. The time to get points was 2 drives ago. Got to get some points. We are playing with fire right now. And it has not exploded yet. But you can just feel the fire about to explode. They don't score points here. We need points. Bad. Field goal. Touchdown. Let's get something going here.
On CBS. All right, Amanda, what do you got?
Well, we talked about Joe Flacco's return, and we mentioned at the top of the show, he's got 40 friends and family members here in the stadium, including his wife and his kids. And he said, my kids absolutely love what I do, but you got to remember where I'm from. He said, there's a lot of trash talking going on. My kids are kind of my biggest critics, but they're also my biggest fans. And we asked him, what keeps you motivated to play? He said, that's a big part of it, but it also could still be the money, too, right, Tom?
Absolutely. It's $4 million. Still $4 billion.
Oh, go. Could have been bigger. Hey, you take it. You take it.
Particularly Daniel, that he the name the starter. He could not believe it. He goes, "Really? You're going to be the starter?"
Well, first of all, how do you trash talk your dad, who's in his 18th year in the NFL, as the Super Bowl MVP? I don't know how that's a thing. And then, I know it's $4 million, but with the money that Flacco's already made in his career, once being the highest paid guy, he's really not doing this for the money. He's doing it because he loves it and still thinks he can play at a high level, and I respect it.
He's in great shape, too. They hand the ball to Jeff Jiggs, and Jeff Jiggs has a first down.
Good job, Judd.
40-yard line. Tavius Robinson made the tackle. Yeah, Flacco's got off to a good start. He was 4 for his first 4. He's cooled since that time.
Well, the Ravens have done a better job than the Bengals did last week. They have made it much harder for him. Other than some of those checkdowns, when he's looked down the field more, it hasn't really been there, with the exception of a couple of those throws to Judy. If you're the Browns, you got to go back to trying to get Judy isolated on the single receiver side and try to go to him. Here he comes in motion.
They quickly toss to the outside. They've got Tillman
All right.
in front of.
I'll take that on first down for sure.
So how much will this, you think, free up, let's say, Judy, when he's able to do things like this?
Well, it's funny, isn't it?
Stay ahead of the stick. Stay ahead of the stick. No negative play.
Smith, and it felt like they would connect, or there'd be pass interference. He's got that big arm but he hasn't really been able to showcase it that much through this first game and a half with the way teams are playing him with two deep safeties. You can see again, the two deep safeties, they're making him throw his knee or run him out.
Henry Tillman in motion. Second down off the play fake. Flacco has time, throws underneath, passes caught, but he gets smothered. It was Jerome Ford and Roquan Smith was able to nail him after a short game.
3rd and 5.
3 tackles for loss. Picture perfect tackle. You know, it's interesting because there's some conversation around here that perhaps Roquan Smith has lost a step. Doesn't look like it today, that's for sure.
3rd and 4. Let's convert. Let's convert.
So 3rd down and 4.
3rd and 4 is short enough that a check down gets you the first down. So I wonder if the Ravens do bring pressure on this one.
Fat at the top, part of the offensive line with the Njoku. Flacco, pressure's coming, he's in trouble. He throws as he falls, it's incomplete. It'll be 4th down. Mike Reed had him by the legs.
We are playing with fire, man.
Jones was there as well.
Mike Green, he's going to come right up the middle here. One of the guys rushing in off the edge. He ends up getting Lucas late.
I want to know why he didn't like Tillman right there. He had Tillman on the backside. Was he just eyes not there? Ah, come on.
Need to receive again, Bojorquez. Much of a limp.
I mean, I don't know how much more time in the pocket would have. Okay, come on. Bounce, bounce, bounce. There you go. Good punt. Man, I really don't like how we're playing with this fire right now. Every time you punt without scoring, down 10, you are playing with fire, and the fire's getting bigger. Gotta stop playing. Like, gotta get something going. Whether it's pressure, what are you not seeing? Do you want to work something? Like, what do we need to get to? You see Musgrave and Flacco working on something. They got to get something going. Defense got to get a play here, force a fumble. We got to get some points on the board, right? The same way Baltimore made some plays on special teams to get their points on the board. We're going to need the defense to do something here to keep this game, to put water on this fire we keep building up here.
Goes from Old Memorial Stadium as they celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Ravens. Andrews in motion.
Oh! Oh! Oh, there was a chance.
Tom, I want you and Ross to take a look at this. Finally, the Giants score a touchdown. Russell Wilson, look at this grab.
Do you think they try a drive with Dylan Gabriel? No, it's not the quarterback as much as it is just good execution by the Ravens.
The quarterback eventually for the Giants looked like it was pretty good.
Like, I don't think a quarterback change is going to dramatically shift what the Ravens have been able to do here. Oh! Get on him. Get on that. Good tackle. Great tackle by Greg. One side of my brain says put in Dylan. The other side says no, this is not the defense. Throw him in again. I just don't think if I thought the problems right now were the quarterback not executing, I would be like, sure. But that's not the problem right now. Yeah, Joe Flacco's not doing a great job of executing, but there's really not a lot here to execute. You know what I mean? Ravens are playing really good defense.
The pocket. Andrews.
That's short.
He thinks he has it. Greg Newsome was the first one. Rayshon Jenkins the second one.
Boy,
that's short. That's short.
To take a look at it.
Yeah. They're short.
It's a 13.5-yard line. It's a nice tackle again by Newsome.
There's no way Baltimore's going to go for this here, right?
Andrews can't believe it. He felt like
yeah, it's short.
First down. They're going to keep the offense on the field.
Nah. They're not. They're gonna take this to the 2. This is candy. They're gonna take this shit to the 2. There's no way they're gonna give the Browns a golden opportunity to score before halftime by using their defense when their offense has been struggling as much. They're taking this shit down to the 2, and then they're gonna punt. They're taking it down to the 2 because they're hoping they get an on-screen measurement, or maybe they can challenge a spot. That spot's gonna hold up through challenge, and that spot's gonna hold up through a challenge, and also, the measurement is short. I mean, there's been a couple times where defense, just the ball didn't bounce in a way where they could get to the ball, the fumble, that tip ball right there. They really need something to break their way to open this game up for the offense right now, because it's so shut down offensively. And to be fair, it's been like that for Baltimore as well. The issue is Baltimore's gotten plays from their special teams units that have gotten them points. Again, the LeJontay Wester return turns into 3 points for the Baltimore Ravens, and obviously the block punt turns into 7. They have 10 points on the board. All 10 of those points you can trace back to special teams play. They're struggling as much on offense as the Cleveland Browns are right now. I think it's just a tough defensive game. You're just going to have to get your plays made by somewhere else to open things up for you, you know? Okay. We're going to get this ball back. Got to score. Got to get points. Something's got to break here for them. Can't keep playing with fire.
The NFL CDS is sponsored.
Maybe they do a fake punt here. That would be ballsy. Again, I don't think they do anything that would give Cleveland the ball potentially with a good defensive effort. Because like that, the Browns' offense has not been executing well all day. They're going to go for this? No way.
For all the latest NFL scores and highlights, it's all coming up on the Verizon halftime report. The offense is on the field on 4th and half a yard.
No.
Let it go. It is Andrews under center, by the way.
Again, it would make no sense for the Ravens to go for it there. Yeah, it's 1 yard. It's a couple inches. Could they get it? Maybe. But, man, if the Browns stop you and they get the ball on the 15 when they have struggled to score all day and you give them critical points here, I mean, that would be one of the biggest mistakes of the game. I think it's even ballsy to even, like, take the penalty here on this punt, allowing it to be backed up even more, maybe possibly allowing for a block punt situation or a good return to get you in the field goal range if you're Cleveland, if you're thinking about this from a Baltimore perspective.
Barely caught the one he fell forward receiving it.
This is the 4th punt of the day for Stout. Bond comes up. And he did call for the fair catch.
Bond don't look comfortable up there doing these punts at all.
Well, they were not happy with how the 4th quarter went against the Buffalo Bills, and they have been much, much better.
Yeah, you got to give credit to the Ravens, man. The reason the Browns' offense isn't looking good is because the same reason the Ravens' offense isn't looking good right now. The defenses came to play today. Joe Burrow is hurt again. Are you serious?
They talked about what happened, and it was very...
Is he hurt, or is he just out the game for a little bit?
How much they wanted to make amends for what happened Sunday night. Josh Allen and the Bills to throw the ball.
And by the way, this will be the 29th play for the Browns. The Bills were on the field for 87 plays last week as the Browns run it on first down.
Right, so what the Browns are trying to do here is score slowly, right? They want to take as much time off the clock as possible. Stefanski knows that. Ideally, they have
2nd and
the football,
6.
but even if they don't, leave as little time for a Ravens possession as possible. That's why Flacco's taking his time. They got plenty of time here.
Yeah, they're sitting in quarter again.
See the target line. Andre Schmidt. 2nd and 6. Flacco to throw. Pumps once. He's in trouble. He's going down.
Can't do that. Can't do that. Can't take a sack there. You can do a lot of things. Can't throw an interception. Can't take a sack. You can only take the sack if you thought that was going to throw an interception. We're playing slow right now offensively. Can't take a sack there, get negative plays, man. Like, we got to stop fucking around. Ugh. Okay. 3rd and 13. Oh, big play. Ooh. That's big. All right, come on.
That's exactly what that defense is supposed to stop. Any type of down the field throw, especially in the middle of the field, that's a mental error.
Gain of 23 yards. Time winding down, and it's going to be a pass interference, I would think, no?
No pass interference?
Like Cedric Tillman was pushed from behind before that ball arrives.
Show the replay.
It'll be 2nd down.
I didn't get a good look on
Boy,
it.
that was a huge conversion on 3rd and long to Njoku. You know, Marlon Humphrey was
Flacco looking like washed Big Ben 2020. I don't think this is Flacco as much as it's just good defense, y'all. We're good. We're good. We're good. No, it's fine. That's okay. No, I'd rather him drop that. That would have been a tackle behind the line of scrimmage. You had to use a timeout, and you would have lost like 5 yards.
right there.
Our kicker sucks, as far as we know. So why make it harder? Let's go 3rd and 10. Let's get something positive here. Let's get a 1st down. 3 or 7. As long as you get points, I'm happy. That's fine. Timeout.
And a timeout called by Baltimore.
They're going to call that timeout.
A gain of 8 yards.
Let's see how much they actually trust Schmidt, because if they go for it here, they don't trust Schmidt. And he's going to call a play here.
4th and 2.
He's going to at least try to get him to jump off sides.
I'd be surprised if they go for this, but you can see how the kicking has been under Stefanski, which is not good. But you're down 2 scores. You're right in the middle of the field. I really feel like you got to kick a field goal here to make it a 1-score game.
Yeah, don't forget that Schmidt, he struggled last week. 1 for 2 on field goals, 1 for 2 on point afters. He's the 12th different place kicker for the Browns since 2012.
Every one of these teams, Tom, they have an analytics department that tells them, hey, 4th and 2 with 31 seconds left, maybe this is a go. Obviously, they could just come up here and try a hard count of some kind, but this is an aggressive call by Stefanski if they go for it.
Browns 2 for 3 last week on 4th down. It'll be 4th and 2 with 31 seconds to play in the 1st half. A reminder, the Ravens do get the football to begin the 2nd half.
All right. Timeout.
Use all of its quarterback voice there to try to draw them off.
Yeah, try to get it a jump, see if we can get a free play, kick the fucking field goal. All right, kid, make the kick. Make the kick.
That was the right decision by Stefanski. You know, it's worth a shot to see if you get somebody to jump. But it's
Middle of the field here.
right? You gotta get
There is no reason.
to one possession here. The ball like this.
No doubt.
Schmidt, the rookie, he can't draw it up any better. It's not a long field goal. It's right in the middle of the field. Hopefully this could boost the young man's confidence after what happened last week.
Just strike a good ball.
Stefanski said he's a talented young man. He missed some kicks that he should make, but he said he kicked really well in practice. This will be a 38-yard field goal attempt. Horkaz is the holder, right from the middle of the field. So try to make this a one-possession game.
Okay, he's got it.
It is good. And the Browns are with.
We did that last week. We 1-0. All right. All right. All right. You got points. You got points. Right now, none of these offenses without aid of special teams are scoring right now. Again, Baltimore's 10 points, all with heavy aid of special teams. Cleveland's 3 points. They got the ball at like the 50 because their defense has been just lights out against the Ravens. So it's been a game of field position. The Ravens have gotten the advantage because they've made plays on special teams. The Browns offense not moving the ball. Neither is the Ravens offense. But you're only down 7. If you stop them coming out of halftime, you have an opportunity to tie the game. You've been playing with fire the whole first half here. Getting a touchdown would completely have taken it out, but this has simmered things quite well. Because you would have punted there and not gotten points. I don't know, man. All right, good job, Alex.
To the 26-yard line, Rayshon Jenkins made the tackle. This August, a trio of
They'll just
Ravens
probably take a
celebrated the
knee.
beginnings of school year.
Take this into halftime, I would imagine.
Still in the backfield. Jackson, he's in trouble. He's going to throw it away. There was good pursuit. Isaiah McGuire's been in the backfield a lot today. Malik Collins was there too.
I mean, like everybody just won there on the Browns' defensive line.
You'll hear him come on the field anytime there's the sound of boos in the background, as the fans have attached themselves to him.
Browns still have 2 timeouts. So if they're able to stop the Ravens short here in the field of play, you never know. Maybe Stefanski will call a timeout, give them a chance to block the punt themselves.
On second down, Jackson, Zay Flowers, and it's out of bounds. And it'll be third down. Cam Mitchell was in on the coverage. You surprised by that play, Paul?
No, I think they thought they had a chance with Zay Flowers. He didn't get to midfield. They still have that 1 timeout. Now I think there's much greater chance that they'll just throw something underneath. I wouldn't even be shocked if this were a run, because the odds of the Ravens getting points now with 13 seconds left are very small.
And it is going to be a run. It'll be Justice Hill who gets across
Yeah.
the 30 to the 32, and now
All
timeout
right.
is called by Cleveland.
We're going to try to get the ball back here.
Miles Harden makes the tackle.
So this is one, why not go try to block this punt, right? I mean, even if the Ravens, as you can see, Lamar Jackson's not happy. Even if you run into the kicker and you give him 15 yards, they're still not really going to be in position to kick a field goal. Now, maybe they could try a Hail Mary, but Bubba Ventrone, the special teams coordinator for the Cleveland Browns, whatever his best punt block technique and formation.
Have we ever blocked a punt with Bubba Ventrone as our ST coordinator?
Bond is back deep to receive. From the top is where they got close the last time. From the right side. They almost got it. Bond lets it go over his head. It's going to roll.
Who gives a fuck where that ball lands? Yeah. All right.
That's going to be the end of the first half. So one possession game, 71 yards.
All right. Yeah, I mean, both teams aren't getting anything done offensively. Both teams. If McGuire can stay on his feet more, he's going to get multiple sacks. Yeah, his motor, even when he falls on the ground, I think is pretty special.
Showing that you have to adjust to offensively in the second half.
Yeah, we have to find a way to stay on the football field for our team on offense, and that's being efficient in the run game and finding some explosives in this passing. It's a stout front, we know that. So it's a one-possession game. We're playing great defense. We just got to continue to do those things where we give ourselves a chance.
Appreciate the time. Thanks.
Well, they are playing good defense. That's the end of the first half. The score, Ravens 10, Browns 3. Halftime is next after these.
All right, we'll break down halftime real quick. Let's see where we are with the picks that we made at the beginning of this game pertaining to week 1 action on Sleeper. By the way, Sleeper is the sponsor of this live stream. So let's check it out. All right, we got 4 picks in. And our first pick, Zay Flowers, 4.5 receptions. I think he's going to get more than 4.5 receptions in this game. So far, Zay is at 3. That looks pretty good. Keeping Derrick Henry under 94.5 yards. The Browns talked a lot of junk. They're living up to it. 5 carries, 5 yards in the first half for Derrick Henry. That one's never over until it's over, though, because Derrick Henry can break a big one off. And make a bad game look like a good game. You know, he's done that multiple times in his career. Josh Allen was our easy money pick here, right? Half a yard. He's already over the half a yard. And then Joe Flacco on pace to be at about 24 completions. We think he's going to be over that. Looks good so far, but, you know, the Browns offense not really doing anything, so I don't feel confident right now about that. So that's where we are with our picks. If you want to join the fun, make sure you join Sleeper. Use promo code WORSTTAKE. Get a 100% match on up to $100. Again, a 100% match on up to $100. If you use the promo code WORSTTAKE to join the fun. Sleeper has other things as well, fantasy football, scores, and we're going to use that to get some scores around the league next. Let's look at what's going on around the NFL. Right now, the Browns down 3-10 to the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens do get the ball coming out of halftime. The Jaguars going into halftime are up 17-10. Somebody said that Joe Burrow went down in that game. Jake Browning's in the game right now for the Cincinnati Bengals. Cam Ward just threw a ridiculous touchdown. We got to go ahead and check that out, see what happened there. The Giants up 13-10 on the Cowboys. The Bears are down 14-21 to the Lions. And the Patriots are up by 1 point, 15-14 on the Dolphins. And then we have, 4 more games? It's a lot of 1 o'clock games this week. 49ers up 9-7, right, going into halftime. They're in the red zone right now. They might be able to score. Is their quarterback injured? Is it McCorkle Jones playing right now? Yeah, McCorkle Jones is in at quarterback. Mac Jones, for those of you who don't know the meme. The Bills are beating down the Jets 20-3, and the Seahawks are down 7-14 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Titans up 13-10 on the Rams. Somebody just said Cam Ward threw a crazy touchdown. I haven't seen that yet, but Cam Ward right now 10-17, 123 yards and a touchdown, so playing good. How do we win? The Browns are going to have to make some plays, right? Like, they're just going to have to get some chunk plays here. Right now, they're only down by 7. The defense, I think, has been lights out against the Ravens, right? You look at the Ravens' 10 points, you can purely attribute those 10 points to the fact that the Ravens got big plays on special teams. What the Browns need, they need some plays, right? They need some interceptions. They need a sack fumble. They need some plays to make the offense's life easier because right now the offense, their life is too hard right now, right? The Ravens are doing a really good job. Got to give credit where credit's due. I'm a big detractor of Roquan Smith. He's playing really effective football out there right now. Kyle Hamilton has been super effective in this game, and the corners have been holding up really well for the Ravens. So the Browns not being able to run the ball, their life's just a little bit too difficult on that side of the ball. You need the defense and special teams to make some plays to make the offense's life easier. Because right now, unless they're going to get a lot going on the ground, their life's going to be very difficult. This is the crazy Cam Ward touchdown. Just threw it across his body. My God. I don't know if that's good. But hey, it counts. All right. So that's what's going on around the league. That's what's going on in this game. Mac Jones is playing for the 49ers, and he's playing decently. 15-23, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. Remember, Kyle Shanahan wanted Mac Jones back in that draft. But we'll get back to talking about this first half and more. Give me 1 second here, and I'll be right back in a moment. Give me 1 minute here, y'all. If I can figure out how to turn the camera on. There you go. Nope, that's not it. All right. Let's go on red zone real quick, man. Yeah, let's go on red zone. What is the score of the Valkyries Lynx game? Lynx are winning big. All right. Yeah, let's go on red zone. See if anything interesting has happened. Dude, red zone was so hard to find week 1 on YouTube TV. You had to like literally Google for it.
All year, and that 47 yards. Tyreek Hill, who's had an eventful last week, comes away with his longest catch in about a year. Wait. Okay, they are going to put They are going to put 1 second on the clock. And some of the Bears went into the locker room. Let's listen in. Yeah, come on back, people. Take a look at that previous play. And should the clock have stopped? This is definitely a catch.
Let's see if it's served to carry them back into the end zone. Last 2 drives culminated with nice plays. Can we do it again? Flag is down, 3rd and 7, 2-0. Locates Washington. Great catch. Hawkins on the tempo for New England. Let's see what is here is that the official stopped the clock. The catch was made inbound. The string was down, and the official covering the play stopped the clock. The clock operator didn't stop.
All right. So we're waiting for the Browns game to come back from halftime. Really what you need to know, Browns offense, it's a defensive battle. I think the Ravens defense has been doing a great job. It's easy to say, oh, the Browns offense isn't executing. But that makes it seem like the Ravens defense isn't doing a great job here, right? This isn't one of those games where I think the Browns have a lot of opportunity and not taking advantage of it. As far as I can tell from the television copy, it looks like the Ravens are doing an excellent job defensively. The same way we don't like it when people try to throw away the Browns' great defensive performances. Oh, the Bengals just weren't playing well. No, like the Browns' defense was excellent in last week's game. And I think right now you're getting an excellent performance from 2 of the better defense in football. And it's caused a lot of strafe on offense. Both teams not really able to score without massive aid in field positioning, right? I think the Browns are actually the only team that crossed the 50 to score points in this game. As crazy as that sounds. And they barely crossed the 50. They started to drive in like the 51. But that's what's been going on in this game. It's just been 2 defensive titans going at it, The Ravens have made the plays on special teams, which have turned into points for their offense, and that's been the difference.
Take a look at the 2 quarterbacks. Flacco, 12 of 23, 93 yards. Lamar Jackson, 10 of 17, 77 yards. He has not rushed the ball at all. Moments ago, Amanda caught up with John Harbaugh.
Coach, you knew this Browns defense was going to come ready.
I imagine the Ravens are going to come out here and run hella RPO, hella read option right now. They want to get their ground game going bad.
This defense is not making a mistake. Give them the ball, sack, something like that. So I thought we handled that like we needed to handle it.
Happy with your defense?
Yeah, so far so good. We got a lot of game to play.
Appreciate the time. Thanks, Coach.
Probably happy with the maturity of the defense in game, which they've talked about a lot this week.
Well, those guys all made it very clear.
Shout out to Slide, gifting 20 members.
Much better.
Almost just take a knee in the end zone, so Lamar Jackson and the Ravens will come out and get the football for the first time in the second half.
Well, you just heard John Harbaugh talk to Amanda about being backed up and field position. That is not what the Browns want from Schmidt right there. You don't want to just hand them the 35-yard line like that. Remember, the end of the first half after the field goal, they tackled him at the 25. So Schmidt essentially just gave the Ravens 10 free yards to start this drive.
Yeah, they moved the ball to the 35-yard line. The Ravens with 3 straight 3-and-outs to end the first half. And their first possession here in the second half, and it's Henry in the backfield. Off the play fake, Jackson, he has time, throws to the middle, Zay Flowers makes a bad miss. And he gets to the 46, maybe the 45. Ronnie
They-
Hickman just missed him, and he got 4 extra yards.
Well, you'll see Zay Flowers right in the middle of your screen. He's going to run off. This is what he does all the time, these in-breaking routes.
Yeah,
I
Ronnie
love
just
that
missed.
design there because they occupied Hickman with Mark Andrews. That is
All right,
one
got to
of
get
those
him here on this set if
attacks
you want to avoid
in
points.
the middle of the field where he should be because Andrews kind of ran through his zone.
And Flowers trying to show that he's a complete receiver. He gets the jet sweep. It gets
That could have been way worse than it was.
A gain of 3. Devin Bush makes the tackle.
That could have been way worse than it was.
Receiver. Catching the ball, running the ball.
He told us he loves when he gets hands-offs on jet sweeps like that because he thinks it helps to stretch the defense, right? They have to honor that. Now, the next time they do it, they'll probably fake it to Zay and come back and run it back the other way with Todd Monken, who's just done a fantastic job here in Baltimore. Their statistics have just been crazy the last couple of years. How efficient they've been on offense. They want to change the play.
And explosive plays, too. They've been off the charts with explosive plays. After changing the play, Lamar. Backpedaling. He does this so well and then finds an opening. He runs up and throws for the end zone.
That's not a push off. That's not a push off.
42 yards, and let's make sure he's got it.
This is why you can't let Lamar get any extra time back there. Did the ground knock that loose a little bit?
Ground, but I absolutely think that he secured that and had possession. It's allowed.
Maybe we can get some bullshit here. I don't know. I mean, it's good coverage by Greg.
The ground help him secure it.
Yeah, I think you can make the argument that it might have. They're going to have to look at that. They're going to look at every scoring play.
He's watching in New York, and he thinks it's a catch and a touchdown by the veteran DeAndre Hopkins, who comes in to today's ball game with 42 100-yard games in his career, second only among active receivers.
The receiver was down by contact at the 1/2.
Wow.
Okay.
So let's check with G. G, do you have a perspective on that, G?
No, that's a great job by replay. We're all looking for a catch, no catch, and I think we were right to, but I do believe that he possesses it. But DeAndre Hopkins' left knee is clearly down at that point, so the moment he possesses it, that ball's down by contact. And
Yeah.
then, so really good job by replay there. The nose of that football didn't break.
It's good coverage by Greg. Better play by Deontay Hopkins. But this is why you can't let Lamar get that ball back there and sit. He is so dangerous as a passer when you let him just sit back there in the pocket. It's not 2019.
Talking about an eligible receiver who's come in.
By the way, Greg Newsome had fantastic coverage.
He
I
did.
mean, there's not much more Greg Newsome could do there.
So they spotted at the half-yard line. That's the longest play of the game for either team. And they quickly go up to the line of scrimmage. Jackson throwing, looking, throwing, passing. It's knocked away.
Good coverage by Mike Bush. Good job, Bush.
Just brought up this week again.
Zaire Mitchell-Payton, wasn't he on the Browns for the longest? Like on our practice squad forever?
Down to do it because the defense isn't ready. Zaire Mitchell.
Good job, Devin.
He had it right in his hands. Looked like Devin Bush might have had something on the other hand, but they thought they'd have a wide open receiver. Now I think they come with the him.
Extra offensive line and left side. It's Ben Cleveland. Goes moving in the backfield. Yeah. Mitchell Payton was
Okay. That makes it more interesting. That makes it more interesting. Boy, double bad from Zaire. Zaire Mitchell-Payton's not gonna see the field again. Well, he might see the field again, but he's not. He's gonna be on that practice squad next week.
He hasn't played fullback, so now here to be at home. There's a snap count. Yeah, it's a different situation than he's ever played in before in his life.
Hopkins, who did have that pass catch to get it down.
All right, Miles.
Jackson looking to the middle. Pass.
Oh, no, dropped it.
It was Mark Andrews who had it, and then Delpit.
Great job, Delpit. Great job, Grant Delpit.
That is why you finish to the ground. Watch Delpit. Andrews has it, punches it out. That is beautiful by Delpit. Andrews had 2 steps but did not make a football move. Delpit never quit on it. That is perfect. That's the second time a Browns DB has had an amazing punch to knock the ball out.
All right, come on.
John Harbaugh has the challenge flag in his hand. He's walking down the sidelines. He's not going to toss it. He puts it in his back pocket.
They're going to have to call timeout. Myles Garrett's got him. Yes. Yes. Big. 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 That was massive. Oh, man. You talk about a game of inches right there. Greg Newsome, great coverage, gets beat by DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins, it happens, right? You get beat one-on-one. All right. Makes the play, keeps him short, gets him down before the line. And you're thinking, what is a half a yard to the Baltimore Ravens? That's what a half a yard means to the Baltimore Ravens. It's the difference between 7 and 6. Again, you could blame a lot for the Browns not having the lead right now. You can't blame the defense. You cannot blame the defense. That was one of the best goal line stands you will ever see.
But it's not going to be enough to change anything. Might as well just take the points if you're the Ravens.
Yeah. One of the best goal line stands you will ever see, y'all.
Timeout. 13-3, the Ravens on top. They were hoping there was some more. Myles Garrett certainly played with a high.
All right. Defense is doing everything they can to keep this game close. Gave up a big play, but again, even that big play, it's not like I think the defense stunk on that play. It's just better offense, right? Beat you. A better throw and a better rep for DeAndre Hopkins. Won that rep. But you came back. You won the next 4 plays. Offense got to get involved in this fight, though. Offense has to get involved in this fight. They're about a quarter late. They should have been involved in this fight. Only 3 points on the day. Let's hope they came out the second half. Something that'll work a little bit better. Shit, this defense is legit, man. Three and a half sacks in 7 quarters. Myles Garrett is the best defensive player. I mean, again, we're talking about somebody who was already defensive player of the year. I would argue replicated those defensive player of the year numbers that he got from 2023 and 2024. Didn't get it because he didn't have enough wins. But, you know, coming into this year, it was so obvious watching Myles Garrett, and you're saying to yourself, he looks better than he's ever looked. You know, this is the best I've ever seen Myles look. Defense by week 12 will sack because the offense, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. It's not like they got amazing offense in 2023. They still stuck with it.
Yeah, right. Here's Myles Garrett, and I still think Justice Hill, the running back, needs to give him something more than that to help out Stanley. But look, when Garrett has him, there's nobody open. I mean, Andrews was about to uncover at the top of the screen, but Lamar already had Myles Garrett all over his legs, didn't have a chance to throw it. That's where the coverage and the rush have to work together, and it's just a fantastic job by the Browns. To go out there in that situation and only give up a
45 yards again. Someone Malik says, bro, How can Myles Garrett get better? When I saw him at camp and he looked how he looked, I thought to myself, this is impossible what I'm seeing right now. This guy's better.
Jackson came off the field visibly frustrated. He tossed his helmet in the air. And Isaiah Likely, the tight end who's out with that foot injury, actually came over to him and gave him a ton of encouragement. They watched him.
All right, Browns offense got to take advantage here.
Lamar Jackson certainly frustrated with that last drive.
Yeah, they're hoping to have Likely back maybe next week. The first down for the Browns, the 40-yard line. They give it up to Jenkins. And he moves Roquan Smith up across the 45 to the 46. There's Isaiah Likely. That's such a big year last year for the Ravens. What a 1-2 punch between Likely and Andrews.
It's a big loss when they don't have him, right? You see how much 12 personnel the Browns are running? That's one running.
Nice to know it's not just our special teams.
It's because when you have two tight ends, you can move the one guy around so much.
Thank you for super chat, Fred.
They can't do that with two tight ends.
By the way, the Ravens are playing the rest of this game without Kyle Van Noy. They say that Jerry Jeudy did not have possession of that ball as it goes out of bounds. Nate Wiggins was there.
Top of your screen, it's just an out route against off coverage. He has it.
He got his feet in, though.
Did he get so sure about that?
He's bleeding on the sidelines. He said he did have control of it.
That is one where Stefanski might want to consider it. But he was short of the line again, I think, anyway, right?
Yes, he was. They're down at 4. Here comes the blitz. Roquan picked up for a moment. Flacco rolling, and he throws on the run, and it's intercepted. Nate Wiggins. Nate Wiggins inside Browns territory. Flacco's trying to chase him down. And Latonio is able to get him at the 6-yard line.
That is not the shot that you wanted to take at Nate Wiggins. That's not the shot. I mean, you threw right at him in zone.
Time.
This is just a horrible decision, and we're
Yeah, this is a bad decision by Joe Flacco. That's just no way around it.
here.
That's
He knows
not.
better than that. I can't believe he threw that ball. Credit the Ravens for not only the interception, but the significant return. But that's the type of.
All right. Well, you've been playing with fire offensively all night, and it just fucking exploded. It just exploded. I've been talking about it.
Jackson to Henry. It's to the 4 before he's taken
Can't
down.
keep playing with fire, man. Can't keep playing with fire. Play with fire, you get burnt. I mean, if your defense, by some miracle, holds this to another field goal here,
Able to get the ball down the field. He knew it was third down. He's
offense got to do a complete 180
That's
here.
no excuse. He knows that he'd be the first one to tell you. If he was up here in the booth, he'd be saying, I can't believe I just did that.
Second and goal for just inside the 5. Jackson will keep it. Jackson to his right. Jackson toward the goal line. He stops. Good pursuit by the Browns. That's the first run of the day for Lamar Jackson. Ronnie Hickman makes the tackle.
I'm a little surprised we haven't seen Lamar run it more, but the Browns historically do a pretty good job against Lamar's legs. They certainly did in that Week 8 game we did last year. Brings up third down. This would be an interesting situation if the Ravens get stuffed here, because they're already up 2 scores, so I wouldn't be surprised if Harbaugh would go for it on 4th.
Yeah, the Ravens are going to call a timeout. Lamar, I don't know if he's limping or he's just moving slowly to the sidelines, but he does look frustrated. As Jim Schwartz is hoping his defense can make another stop inside the red zone.
Well, Jim Schwartz's defense is going to allow the Browns to be in every game they play this year.
Can't make that mistake if you're Joe Flacco.
Yeah, Hickman kind of spun him to the ground.
He needs a new belt. I think that's what he's trying to get, is a new belt. His pants went down around his ankles.
Like Lamar got up okay.
Yeah.
Well, they used a timeout.
I think it was an equipment thing.
You got to make Lamar's legs a factor here, right? Make the Browns have to.
Mr. Kennedy, Mark Kennedy with the super chat. Appreciate you, Mark. Not caught. Fourth down.
Intercepted and nearly caught by the Ravens. It'll be fourth down.
Yeah, they're going for it.
Telling him to stay out on the field. That was a likewise dangerous throw by Lamar. He didn't see Devin Bush. That should have been intercepted by Devin Bush.
At what point do you think the defense would give up if the offense can't do anything? No, I don't think the defense is going to give up.
Right? You're 2 scores. Try to go up 3. Even if you don't get it, try to pin back.
Jackson rolling. Jackson looking for the back of the end zone. Touchdown.
Cam Mitchell. They got Cam Mitchell rolling. Play with fire, you're going to get burnt. We've been playing with fire all game offensively. I mean, finally got burnt. Finally got burnt. That's what it is. You cannot give Baltimore 10 unanswered points and then allow them to have a second opportunity of 10 unanswered here. Your defense is doing everything they can. You've given them 3 short fields because it's bad special teams. And this time an interception by Joe Flacco. You're asking far too much. You're asking far too much of your defense right now. Bad special teams got you that 10. The other 7 comes from a horrible interception from Joe Flacco. I understand you're trying to make a play happen. They've been shutting down stuff. It's been very frustrating. But you got to stay disciplined, right? Got to stay disciplined in that situation. Can't just YOLO a fucking ball up there to get intercepted. The veteran quarterback YOLOs the ball up there. That turns into 7 the other way. We got legitimately 3 points you can blame on the, well, not even 3. How many points can we blame? None of these points. What did they get 3 coming out of halftime? Was it 3 points out of halftime? If they got the 3 on the first drive out of halftime, that's the only points that the defense has given up today. I don't think Hawaii 5-9 going to change this. This is the thing about this game. Both defenses are just enforcing their will on each offense. There's not much you could do about it except for just take what's there. Joe Flacco tried to force something, couldn't make it happen, turns into an interception. Now whoever's playing quarterback is going to be in a bad spot because now you're going to be pressing downfield. Baltimore's been really good downfield. They've been getting pressure. These delayed blitzes with Roquan have been working really well. A quarterback change here is not going to change anything unless you got Josh Allen on the bench. Like, that's the thing. Joe Flacco was real undisciplined there, but like now, what you going to have Dylan Gabriel throw checkdowns in and get you back in this game? The nuts aren't helping. Damn, we had a good run. But the Browns offense been playing with fire. Just got burnt. Just got burnt.
Receptions both.
That's tough. The offseason delusion with Flacco was laughable. What do you mean by that? I don't think anybody was really being delusional with Flacco here. Everybody told you that this kind of a game was possible from Joe Flacco. Like who was acting like Joe Flacco was going to be fucking prime Peyton Manning? We knew that this kind of a performance was possible with Joe Flacco. Everybody knew it. It's just he was the best option of what you had. Credit to Baltimore's defense. His offense looked like it's still going through some growing pains. I think Joe lost some patience there. I think you just got to stay patient in a game like this. Keep it low scoring. Can't give them a big play here when their offense hasn't been doing anything.
Flacco looking to throw. Flacco, and he's got his tight end. It's rookie Fannin.
Good catch by Harold.
He's close to midfield.
This guy's just a baller. Harold Fannin. I mean, 7 catches last week. They line him up all over the place. This time he's at the H-back. Or look at him sky for that. You know, he didn't get drafted until later than people thought, even though he set FBS records for Bowling Green last year, because he doesn't look that athletic when he runs. There's like a stiffness or awkwardness there, but he gets open. He's got that game speed.
Gain of 20 yards. Flacco looking to throw again underneath. Passes complete to Jenkins. For more on Fannin, let's go to Amanda because it's a great story.
Yeah, Coach loved Fannin from the beginning. He said when he ran a slower than anticipated 40 at the combine, a 4.71, Stefanski was literally pumping his fist in the air because he knew it would allow him to fall to the Browns. Fast forward, and guys, as you know, last week he was Flacco's favorite target.
He sure was. I thought it was funny to see Kevin Stefanski's reaction when he was talking about that, and I'm thinking there's probably people in the room looking at him.
Yes, he's slow.
Second down and 6. Ford inside the
Good job.
45.
Good run by Ford.
4-yard line. Buchanan makes the tackle. It's a 17-point.
Hey, we're 4 down rest of the way now.
Have been a huge topic of conversation for the Ravens and their defense over the last.
Good run by Jerome. Way to be patient. I'll just put this out there for anyone saying the routes are bad. We were saying during the games last year till we saw the all 22, and it was more than the receivers. Good run by Ford. Ford's running way better this week than he did last week.
Gain of 4. Robinson is such a great story. He is from Guelph, in just west of Toronto, was a Canadian football player, and during COVID, he thought, man, I might have a little bit more. It might be more than the CFL, and that's when he sent out his film to a lot of teams, and Ole Miss saw his film and decided to give him a chance.
Wow. Big difference between Toronto and Mississippi.
Big time. Off the play fake, Flacco. He's under pressure, just moves it away. He was being pursued by Owe. Second down.
You know, Flacco just does not have great movement skills on those bootlegs. Their backup quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, the lefty from Oregon, he actually runs those bootlegs a little bit better. You know, obviously not many 40-year-olds do. That's a big part of Stefanski's offense, is you see Gabriel there. So they're going to run those bootlegs, but if there's a defender out there, they're usually going to get on Flacco pretty quickly.
Second down. Flacco underneath Ford. Tries to split the defense to the
All right.
Of course,
It's 3rd and 6 here.
Quarterbacks, Dylan Gabriel being wanted.
3rd and 4, actually. I'm so sick of this offense. Major changes need to address. It's embarrassing. Hey, the Ravens are fucking good at defense, everybody.
Yes.
Like, are the Ravens going to fire their offensive coordinator because the Browns' defense does well against them?
Practice. So that you can get 8.
You're acting like they're playing bad against the Panthers. Run. Oh, lay hit. Lay hit. Yeah, 15. Why would you even need to hit Flacco?
Here you go. He's down.
Down. Yeah.
as soon as the quarterback right there, he's protected. He is protected. As soon as he starts his slide, he's protected because that's also where the ball's down. As soon as his rear starts to go down, it's a dead play. That's the right call, and that's a silly.
All right, Quincy, hope you're healthy. Hope you're good.
Into the red zone for the Browns. They were 2 for 3 in red zone opportunities last week against the Bengals.
Was it half the
Humphrey actually reflected this week about what Flacco.
what?
Moved the ball back to the 25-yard line.
I think replay assist came in and changed the call.
Interesting. You agree with that?
Humphrey having Josh Allen flashbacks. What? How are they bringing that back? Whatever, man.
So that's, they felt like it was objectively not a roughing the passer, and they picked up the flag. They can't put flags on the ground, but they can pick them up. I'm surprised.
Yeah. So on a first down from the 25, it's not their first play in the red zone. We're down to the 22-yard line.
You know, it's interesting because replay assist time is supposed to only come in when it's
Vanilla Vic, Hayden Perry. Oh, talking about Joe Flacco running there. Touchdown here would be big. I mean, how is that not? That's textbook. Just get rid of it.
Robinson, who was trying to chase him down.
So if you're Kevin Stefanski and the Browns, this has happened too many times today. Too many times, there's nobody open. You know, I mean, look, Flacco has time. You'll see they're playing that coverage all back here, okay? Now watch. Right when he goes to throw it, there's nobody open. I mean, maybe he could have gone to Judy at the top, but there was really nowhere to go with the football.
Yeah, it's good defense.
To the timeout called by the Ravens. That's their second timeout.
How much would getting a 3 points here change? Yeah, it would be 2 scores. It would take it down to 2 scores. So yeah, you could take the field goal here, I guess.
But if this is an incomplete pass, I'm pretty confident Stefanski kicks the field goal to make it a 2-score game. I think you have to.
5:33 to play in the third quarter. Browns defense has been solid today. Ravens defense has been solid today.
Feels like a lot of times, Tom, both quarterbacks have had time to throw, but nobody's open. I mean, the coverage has been generally outstanding, and this is about to be the loudest this place has been today.
Yeah, it's a great atmosphere here at M&T Bank Stadium. A lot of alums that come back for the 30th anniversary. A third down, Flacco. It's going to be easy. He's short of the first down. Kyle Hamilton makes the tackle. You still feel good about kicking a field goal or trying one?
I do. It's 4th and 2, so that makes it a little bit closer. Wouldn't be shocked. Oh, now
they're going for it.
That makes it incomplete. See, look, Stefanski was thinking about going for it.
He was down.
Now that they wave it off. Wow. They're going to kick the field goal, which is the right decision.
What are these calls from the officials?
41-yard field goal attempt for Schmidt.
All right.
Just waiting.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Stefanski threw the challenge flag.
He did throw the challenge flag on the far side of the field. I watched him put it back in his pocket. I thought he was done with it, but then they decide to take a look at it.
Well, you don't throw the challenge flag.
Challenge ruling on the field of an incomplete pass.
Yeah, it's elbows down, and then the ball comes out. Yeah, he's down, and then the ball comes out. I mean, the Browns shouldn't even have to waste a challenge on this. This is like Arch Manning versus Ohio State all over again, being like, well, Ohio State's defense is pretty good. I mean, come on. Really, Q? What are people so allergic to? Like, sometimes the defense is really good. The Browns are a mediocre offense. We knew this coming into the game. If a mediocre offense goes up against a really good defense and they're playing at a high level, then that offense is not going to be very effective. That's not what this team was built on. Like, what's the disconnect here? We didn't think that Joe Flacco was going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL this year, right? Like, this is the kind of stuff that happens when you don't have a great quarterback. Is what it is. I don't know what y'all want to have. Would you want to put Dylan Gabriel in right now? Is that what you want to see? You want to put Dylan Gabriel and see if that changes anything? That's just throwing shit at the wall. Yeah, like, I don't know what people want right now, you know? I don't think a change of quarterback is changing anything because I think the issue is the Ravens defense is playing at a higher level than we have quarterback play to answer. That's really it. If Josh Allen is out there against the performance that the Ravens are playing, he's able to find some stuff because he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. But we don't have the quarterback play to combat the level of defense that we're seeing. It's that simple, right? Like, you're going to have to crack the game open without the quarterback leading the way. You're going to have to get the run game going. Like, that just is what it is. It happens some weeks. Not everything is, oh, look how bad the offense is. It's like, yeah, the offense isn't great. But the defense is also making that quarterback's life way harder than he has the ability to manage. That's why the quarterbacks who can make plays consistently when their life is being made difficult are the ones who get paid $100 trillion because they're 100% worth it.
Catch. Yeah, and you know what, Tommy, when Fanning catches this ball knee down, rolling now, you've got an extended period of time where you're down by contact, and then you see Hamilton ripping out late. At that point, I think you're already finished with the process. He's down by contact, and the rip out at the end is kind of after the play ends. That's why they went rolling up a catch down by contact.
And you don't challenge that unless you're going to go for a fourth down, which the fans keep doing here. A little bit surprised by this. I don't like this decision.
Fourth down, a little more than two. Fans off to the right. Flacco out of the gun. Looking to throw. Cross to the right.
Oh!
It was deflected by Humphrey and caught for a touchdown by
Wow.
Cedric Tillman.
Wow. Now, as much as those interceptions weren't on Joe Flacco last year, that touchdown's not on Joe Flacco either. What just said? Was he in bounds? Yeah, that was an interception. And yeah, wow. Wow. All right. He got one of those interceptions back.
In the end zone.
Yeah, he got one of those interceptions back.
I felt like you got to make it a two-score game. It worked out, but
Ray Rag says, so we can tell people these first 6 games are brutal, but then when that actually happens, people get mad at one of those games. It's a tough game. Yeah, exactly.
It's a 10-point game.
All right, make the extra point, dude.
Down the middle, and it's a 20-10 game with 5:02.
All right, man. I'll take it, dude. I don't care how it looks. I'll take it. Whatever. Great awareness by Cedric Tillman. Oh my God, I'll take it. I'll take it because that was a interception. Now, to Joe Flacco's credit, there, throwing the ball, almost throwing that interception there on a 4th and 2, it's not really the biggest deal in the world. Actually, if they would have caught it, it would have been better for the Browns because you would have been able to potentially get them pinned against the 1-yard line. So that's really, you know, he almost throws the interception there, but great awareness by Cedric Tillman. We got a bullshit touchdown, but I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm following you, brother. I'm saying we've had a billion OCs. The offense looks the same. Might not even be Joe Flacco's fault. Look at Aaron Rodgers. Brother, Joe Flacco was never as good as Aaron Rodgers in his career once in his life. Why are we comparing Joe Flacco to Aaron Rodgers? Is it because Aaron Rodgers 40? Aaron Rodgers is a multiple-time MVP. Joe Flacco has never even come close to winning the MVP. Yeah, it looks different because Aaron Rodgers is still a better quarterback than Joe Flacco is. Again, what's happening this week is that the defense, the challenge that the Ravens are presenting to Browns offense and what's needed to win this game or to execute on offense is just more than what Joe Flacco is capable of. This happened during Joe Flacco's career, even in his prime. This happens to a lot of quarterbacks. Hell, the Browns were doing a good job defensively of presenting these challenges to Lamar Jackson all game. Sometimes the defense is just really good, and it doesn't mean that you got to go change everything on the offense because you ran up against a great defensive effort. Why do we always act like great defense is a mistake? Seriously, why do we always act like anytime a team plays great defense against us, it's always a mistake and a problem that the offensive coordinator should be able to fix? It's not always the case. We are going to have a crazy season at this rate. Yep. Someone said, y'all happy about a lucky touchdown? Shut up. You would be happy about a lucky touchdown too. Stop being a loser in chat. Okay. Like, what are you doing? You happy about your team scoring a touchdown? Oh, it wasn't skill-based. Does it count for 7? Does it count for 7? If it counts for 7, I don't give a shit.
Puts him down, either his butt or, a leg or something like that. So he gets all of that yardage. It's not when his slot starts. And reviewing that and lifting that, they ruled that Flacco was hit in the head that area because he's defenseless and down. They can't do that. And after looking at it, they see Humphrey did not contact.
Any of our backup quarterbacks could have beat Cincy? That's stupid. I'm sorry. That's stupid. Yeah, the reason you lost to Cincy was the backup quarterbacks, right? Was the starting quarterback. When obviously it was your fucking kicker. Please, be quiet. Rest the stream. Put yourself in timeout.
Game's going on right now. Thank you, man. Really appreciate it.
You bet it does.
All right, so the Ravens will take back over, up by 10, 20-10, 4:56 to play. Henry in the backfield.
All right, defense. Might be on the Ravens. Back it up.
And we had the penalty last week in the Buffalo game. He had the false start late in that ball game.
When you look at the statistic,
yeah, Fox then brings a good point. I think the issue people are having is that these defenses are evenly matched, but how different the quarterbacks are. Yeah, they have Lamar Jackson. We got Joe Flacco. They're going to have an advantage right now, right? The offense needs the defense to make some plays to make the offense's life easier because right now it's just too difficult for them.
Hard line. The first down at 20, it's Washington. Jackson. Flags come in again. Jackson's going to tuck it. He's going to run it. So fast. He's out of bounds.
That's coming back.
The 35-yard line.
That's coming back.
Devin Bush knocked him out of bounds. And let's see who the penalty is against. There's 2 different flags sitting on the field.
Holding. Defense, number 26. 5-yard penalty if they do the play. Automatic.
So give it to take it away. Miles Harden called for the penalty.
All right, man, whatever.
and it seems like that's the position that you'll see right in the middle of your screen, right? 26, we're going to get Zay Flowers. Zay's going to do outbreak.
Yeah, it's a hold.
It's the right call. But that is the position that the Ravens are rightfully attacking, right? Denzel Ward is an excellent player. Gunner's is very good. The guy who attack is the nickelback right now.
First down, Lamar. What a catch by Zay Flowers. Wow, he got it and kept his feet in. Let's check in with Amanda.
Tom, something you don't see often in the middle of the game. Myles Garrett huddled up the entire defense before they went back onto the field and gave them what can only be described as like an intense pregame pep talk, telling them basically stay in the moment, make the stop. This game is not
Exactly. Kevin Stefanski should be able to provide some semi-potent offense for him, Q. Kevin, no, you're putting too much on Kevin because you want Kevin to be fired. Like, Kevin can't go out there and execute the offense at an elite level for the team, dog. Like, there are answers there, but these are answers that you just don't expect Joe Flacco to make at his age, or even really ever in Joe Flacco's career. Like, again, this is just seems like to me you're trying to just jump on this being Kevin's fault instead of like actually really taking in everything going on.
Jump against him historically. It's just a toss to the watch 84. Mitchell Payne, that's a nice kick out block on the force player. Remember, Mitchell Payne, this is his second game ever getting any reps at fullback. As you see, Derrick Henry, look at that.
I'll say he was easy to tackle, but I'm sure if he gets to Ennis State, he's going to be difficult as this game wears on. The play fake. Lamar away from the pressure.
Got him. Got him. Big.
Bush with his 6th career sack.
Well, McGuire,
They're trying to go for deep shots right now.
Here came Bush, right? So let's watch these guys.
Great job,
First, you're
Devin.
gonna see McGuire off the edge, and then Bush is going to come all the way over here and get involved. So 57 beats the tight end Kohler. Devin Bush, a little bit of a delayed blitz right there. That is such a nice design by Schwartz, right? Knowing where the void in the D line might be and where Lamar might want to step up.
It's a loss of 9. 3rd sack of the day for the Browns. Remember, Lamar was sacked only 23 times all of last year. And on 2nd down and long, he'll dump it off to Justice Hill. They'll getting back close to midfield. But it'll be 3rd down.
All right, hold him here. This big one. Get him off the field here.
Yet another one of these Browns rookies that has been super impressive here in the early going. Had a bunch of tackles last week, team high 8. What's crazy, Tom, is I called UCLA at Hawaii last year for CBS, the opener. He didn't even start for Hawaii. Ends up being an All-American and the 33rd pick, and they might need to make a play here on 3rd down.
Yeah, originally a walk-off for UCLA. 3rd and 13 off the play fake. Jackson steps up in the pocket.
I get to him. Got to get to him. You cannot give him time. You cannot give him time. Got to get to him.
This is just unbelievable. Terrific catch by Zay Flowers, but I'm telling you right now, Lamar has a guy, he's running to his right.
See, look, the Browns are making it really, really difficult for the Ravens to execute on offense. Like, look at what they're asking them to do to get a 10-yard completion right now. Lamar has to overcome all of that, make that throw. Zay Flowers has to come down, dive on that ball to catch it. But they got the quarterback who can make that play, you know? If Carson is the green dot, we should appreciate how little the D is out of position. Yeah, I agree with that. That's a great shout out, Christian.
You got the 10-point lead, you got the football, you want to keep that clock spinning.
Yeah, the clock will wind down. Garrett will catch his breath. They're checking on him on the sidelines.
The field goal here still doesn't really change anything. You're down by 2 scores, so you can keep them to a field goal. That would be great. All right, we're jumping into the 4th quarter. We're keeping up with the picks that we've made on on Sleeper. By the way, Sleeper is the official sponsor of this season on this channel. Let's look at our picks and see how we're doing. So Zay Flowers, I thought he would get more than 4.5 receptions coming into this game. That ended up being true. That looks good right now. That's not just looking good. That's already gone. He's at 6 receptions. Josh Allen over 0.5 passing yard. We're right there. Derrick Henry under 95 yards. I think he's not. Right now he's 7 carries 14 yards, so that looks really good to hold up there. And then Joe Flacco, 23.5 completions. I think he would be over it right now. So that would mean he would have to complete the ball about 8 more times for this to hit. Whole quarter, the Browns are down, probably going to be down by 2. Well, not probably, definitely going to be down by 2 scores if they get the ball back. So definitely going to be a lot of opportunity for Joe Flacco to throw the ball. Will there be a lot of room for him to complete it is the question here, right? 17 of 32, hasn't had a great day. We'll see what happens there. But so far on the picks, so good. And if you want to join the fun on Sleeper, make sure you use the promo code Worst Take. Get up to 100% match on up to $100. So 100% match on up to $100 when you use the promo code Worst Take. Join in on the fun. Sleeper app has more to do than just picks. You can also do fantasy football, and it has scores, and it also has like a little news feed there. So if you just want to have a football only or a sports only news feed, that's a place to go to it for it. But thank you to Sleeper for sponsoring this stream and the channel this season. Let's get back to the game. Let me see how I'm doing in fantasy football real quick. It can't be great. Yeah, Derrick Henry only got me 1 yard. one and a half points.
Jackson out of the gun. Jackson to the middle.
Gotta hold him to a field goal. Gotta hold him to a field goal.
It really feels like that's the Ravens' best passing game, right? Is Zay Flowers on in-breaking routes. They call these deep digs. So if it's man coverage like it was there with Newsome.
Yeah, they got Newsome running left to right. That's what I've been afraid of.
He's usually able to settle in between the 2 deep safeties if that's the zone coverage that the defense is in.
We'll get to your super chat just a minute here.
Pitch to Henry. Let's check in with Adam Schott in New York.
Tom, I want you to take a look at this. This is the craziest thing so far I've seen today. And your audience will absolutely appreciate it. This is a touchdown for Seattle. George
wow.
24-14 Seahawks. Pittsburgh's in a pickle. Tom, back to you.
Oh, that was really interesting to see how that transpired.
That's one thing all Ravens and Browns fans can agree on. They don't like each other.
Hold them to a field goal.
I think they might dislike the Steelers.
Miles Garrett back in the game. Jackson will keep it himself. Henry with a block.
This is dangerous. Oh! Man, so many close interceptions in this game.
Delpit is the one who got his hand on it.
I thought that was a design.
I did too.
I'm surprised Lamar even had the chance to throw it and that the tight ends leaked out.
Got to be an eligible receiver on field or something like that.
Brad Allen's going to do. That's the best what to do here. The decline the penalty will be 3rd down.
This is another one of those situations where if they don't get it here, depending on how many yards they get, it's decision time again for Harbaugh, right? Because you're up by 10, you're up by 2 scores.
They're taking the penalty.
It's still a 2-score game.
Yeah, they're taking the penalty.
Just explain that it is 2nd down. They are going to take the penalty.
Stefanski changed his mind.
Yeah, I think he was trying to get where the yardage would be.
I think he thought it was 4th down.
So it's 2nd down as they move it to the 25. I'll be honest with you, I was surprised he didn't take the penalty.
He picked 2nd and 14 over 3rd and 4. I think that's probably the right decision. There's a lot of plays on 3rd and 4 where you can pick up the 5 yards to get the 1st down, especially in this Ravens offense.
Particularly with Lamar being as talented as he is. Flowers in motion. Jackson looking to throw, looking to it.
Ah, shit. And who's it been? It's been the slots. They've done a good job of attacking it. You give him time, he's going to find them. It's going to make it pretty close to impossible for the Browns to come back in this one. I mean, the defense held up as much as you could ask for. What I would say gave up about 10 points in this game. Truly. Points that you could say they had a realistic chance of stopping.
Do a slot fade, okay? Watch this. Working against the Nick.
Mm-hmm.
As
Yeah.
inside leverage, that's a
They got one-on-one.
You can't have inside leverage if there's no outside leverage.
It's good. It's 27.
I mean, like any hope to stay in this game, you're going to have to score quick and get a turnover. It's not very likely.
So numbers. They got
It's not very likely. Lack of offense is a worn down defense. Yep. You like down. You don't score on offense. You wear down your defense, and also when you give extra opportunities to the Ravens on offense because you're making mistakes on special teams and on the offensive side of the ball, you give Lamar Jackson more swings at it. And no matter how good your defense is, you keep giving Lamar Jackson swings at it. He's an elite quarterback. He's one of the best out there. Top 5 guy every year. Top 3 guy in my opinion. One of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. It's a brutal gauntlet. You've gone against, 2 of the top 5? First 2 weeks. Did a good job, I think, against Lamar. It's just you can't keep giving him opportunities to make plays. There is no defense that is going to withstand. How many drives have we given the Ravens in this game? Yeah, right now the Ravens have had 10 possessions before the start of the fourth quarter. I haven't taken a drive that started in the fourth quarter yet. 10 possessions in this game. Can't give Lamar that many opportunities in 3 quarters, man. You just can't. You just can't. John says went from drafting corners to none, tired unit. Yeah, it's really just the slot corners that they're taking advantage of. It's like John Harbaugh wanting Lamar Jackson, then pay Kansas City only to be up by 10 points off a lucky play. Chalk it up.
now he's here in Baltimore for the first time.
Thank you for the super chat, Artificial Hips.
17. Touchdown for the Ravens that made it a 17-point game.
Watch this design, okay? You'll see Zay Flowers coming in motion, and Hayden is with him. The safety's in the middle of the field. So if they have to switch routes when he runs the 7 route, there's nobody there. Right? That's a flag route. Watch. Now the youngster has him, but there's no help over there.
Oh, yeah. Looks like Hickman got excited.
Zay Flowers in motion like that, but Miles Harden played that like he had outside help. His only help was inside. They gave up 2 touchdowns like that.
Here in the fourth quarter, let's see what the Ravens defense can do against the Browns and Joe Flacco as Judkins is wrapped up by Marlon Humphrey. Remember, the Ravens have been playing most of this, the last 3 quarters without Kyle Van Noy, their outstanding linebacker.
We're going to have to score quick here in order to keep this game alive.
Dylan Sampson is at the bottom of your screen. Go looking for. And Sampson made a man miss. He made Wiggins miss. Robinson was able to come and make the tackle along with Hamilton.
Been kind of a slow day for Sampson, the birthday boy. Turning 21 after he had 8 catches last week. Has not gotten as much this week. Still a lot of time here, Tom.
Yeah, he gains 8 on that.
You're going to want to score before this clock gets to about 8 minutes.
Have double wings in there because they have 2 backup offensive tackles.
Goes in motion.
Got to get rid of this.
Gets the Browns. Jump kicks, makes the catch underneath. Oweh was coming right after Flacco.
Right, he's working against Kate.
Getting cooked by the 4th-string wide receiver. GG, go next week. 4th-string wide receiver.
Is out. So now it's KT Levinston going against Oweh, and Oweh just goes right around him. Right? Watch. Little left hand jump stab. He clearly tugs the back of his jersey. Didn't want Flacco to get hit, but now that puts the Browns against the chains again.
It'll be 1st and 20. Oweh, who said after last week, he said our intensity level dropped by 15 in the 4th quarter. We took our foot off the gas, and we became complacent. We can't do that this week.
Hey, you might have finally got what you want here at the bottom.
Just gets it off. Flacco off the play fake underneath. Jet gets again.
All right, man. I'm not here for the pity party stuff. This week wasn't nonsense. You just didn't play good offense or special teams. And the Ravens played great special teams and great defense. And you are in a position to lose this game. I mean, it's not really like mind-boggling what's going on here.
Judy, who gets close to the first down. He might be about a half-yard shot.
3rd and 1.
So this is interesting too, Tom, because one of the criticisms of the Ravens defense is that in these situations, maybe they play a little bit too soft, right? Maybe they give up this underneath stuff too much too early. Obviously, you only really look bad if you give up something deep. 3rd and short, 4-down territory for Cleveland. Could be a shot play.
And instead, they go to Sampson, and he's got the first down. He's hit hard as he gets inside Ravens territory. There's Zach Orr, who was a teammate of Joe Flacco's here in Baltimore.
Come on. More urgency.
The two were talking about each other.
Need this score in about 2 minutes.
A smile on their face about it.
Well, Zach felt like it helped him a little bit because going against him in practice so much, he felt like he knew Flacco's strengths and weaknesses.
10 minutes, the Ravens showing blitz. Flacco just throws it up, and he's throwing it out of bounds. Let's go to Adam Shine in New York.
Tom, I have another special teams touchdown for you, and take a look at this. Malik Washington, 74 yards. He's still going.
Boy, that punter was out there, too. He was trying to make something happen.
Coach's nightmare. They had him down 3 different times before he spun out and was able to explode.
You don't see this very often, but DeJuan Jones just came back in at left tackle for 2nd down here, and Levinston went out after he had a missed assignment the play before.
So 2nd down, Flacco throws to his left, has Judy, and
Get out of bounds.
sidesteps there. Sidelines, it gets out of bounds beyond the first down marker. Awuzie was in on the coverage.
All right.
Judy is a smooth route runner, right? Not as look at the top of your screen.
Let's keep going.
Just runs them off. Awuzie give him a lot of respect.
Baltimore's taking their feet off the gas right now. They're taking their feet off the gas right now. There's an opportunity to get something here.
Top of your screen.
He's going to pull back. He may go again. Here he comes. Roquan Smith. Flacco looking toward the sidelines. And
Oh.
he tried to get it to
Oh,
Judy.
Judy had him.
Is busy in New York.
Tom McCarthy, you can't make
What? Are you serious? Another special teams touchdown?
Still going, still going, still going. 90 yards to the house. Patriots back on top. Tom, back to you.
Two guys are going to be really tired after that, after those 2 returns.
Well, that's the new touchback being out to the 35. 75% returns last week.
Forward moving pass, and he's out of bounds inside the 35.
All right, 3rd and 6. I mean, we're obviously going for it right now. Why's the clock rolling?
another return. Go on here.
Well, listen, almost 76% kickoff returns last week, the most in the NFL since week 1, 2010. Judy's getting a breather, but this clock just keeps going. I'd like to see a little more sense of urgency for the Browns. You don't know how many more possessions you're going to get. They are too slow out of the huddle and up to the line.
Well, they have to score on this round. One way, shape, or form. 3rd and 6. Flacco. And he just throws it too far from Tillman. I think he's just throwing it away. And now it's 4th down.
They're kicking the field goal.
I mean, I'm big on
Nope.
trying to make it a 2-score game, but after what happened with their rookie kicker, Andre Schmidt, last week, I'm not sure I'm giving him a 50-yarder here.
All right, let's see.
So it'll be 4th down and 6. You think a little underneath?
Yeah, I'm okay with this decision. I think it's one of the tight ends, either the Jojo or Fade up here at the top. Those are the favorable matchups.
They're targeted to losing it 3 straight times. On the defensive end, Flacco drops back to pass. Pockets collapsing. He's sacked and he lost the football. It's picked up by Roquan Smith. Roquan Smith back in the hole.
That's hilarious. That's fucking hilarious. Yep.
Touchdown Ravens.
That's fucking hilarious.
62-yard return. Ray Lewis is all smiles. His mentor.
Let's make sure that ball was out. Flacco going down. Now, you know what?
I think it's out.
I think that ball started to come out right before that left knee hit. It's a scoring play, so it's an automatic booth review, and it's a turn.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been that kind of a day, man. Get our yearly Baltimore ass whooping today. Fun!
He thought that was his destiny. This play is under review. Robinson knocked it loose. Roquan Smith brought it home for 62 yards.
I don't know. That knee's down. That should be Joe Flacco's last NFL play. Okay, buddy. All right. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be his last NFL play. I literally think if they call that a touchdown, he's going to continue to play now. I don't know. They might put Dylan in after that. Sly says you blame me for that? You blame the Roquan slander for that? Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. It's going to be a long Tuesday for me, buddy. Oh, my God. If that holds up, it's going to be a long fucking Tuesday for me. Yeah, it counts as a Roquan big play. Here come the Raven fans. I knew it. Hats off to Roquan. He had the best game of his life as a Raven today. You got to give him credit for that. He played his best game as a Raven today. This is the kind of stuff you expected to see from Roquan for 3 years. Took this game to do it. We'll see if he does it in the playoffs, but hey, got to give him credit for doing it just one time. Nothing to say, but what an embarrassing show by the offense. Yeah, they got dominated today.
Sack did jar that ball loose of Joe Flacco, and Roquan Smith was able to bring it home for 64 yards now officially. They say 64 yards officially, and the Ravens are up 33-10. We talked to Gene during the break, and I think we were all in agreement the ball was coming out before Flacco was down on the ground.
It was really close.
It was.
Certainly not anything that we saw to overturn it.
Loop is on for the point after to make it 34-10.
You ready to watch this? Yeah, we'll see what happens. Look, it's a bad game. Offense played bad. It's one game. I think they'll play better in other weeks. They'll look better in other weeks. But the Ravens today came out, played better football, were the better football team, didn't make mistakes. The Browns did. That's why the score is the score.
Everybody's going to be looking like in the studio.
Oh my gosh, that music just took me immediately back to my childhood. Brett Musburger.
Nah, I don't think Arch Manning is coming out this year.
So we can watch the NFL today. That was the routine.
You got any outfits that you have from 1975 that you can get from somebody?
I was -4.
I was going to say you have to get from somebody.
No.
I got some clip-on ties, some wide clip-on ties for you.
Irv Cross, Jimmy the Greek Snyder. I mean, that was like the pregame show heyday. Incredible.
8:19 to play here.
Yeah, let's just get something so we can be confident next week.
The 30th anniversary of the Ravens here at M&T Bank Stadium.
Doesn't get easier next week. You're playing Green Bay, then Detroit.
To the 25. So Joe Flacco coming back out. You know, this is always a topic now for the Browns. You know, they've scored 10 points. They have the 2 quarterbacks on their roster that they just drafted.
Well, listen, I go on Sports Talk Radio in Cleveland every Wednesday, and I already know what they're going to ask me. How much longer should they play Flacco? They drafted Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders for a reason. They traded down in the draft to get 2 first-round picks next year. You know, Flacco's going to turn it over like he's done in this game. There's Browns fans right now watching their TV saying, why are we even having him out there as much as they like him?
So Dylan Gabriel on the sidelines. He has a 7-0. First down, Flacco to throw. Goes underneath. He's got fat and wrapped up almost immediately up to the 32-yard line.
You know, it's interesting, too, because I think we all probably agree that Flacco gives the Browns the best chance to win. The question then, though, when you talk to people in Cleveland, it's like, okay, win how many games? And where does that get us? I think they'd almost rather...
2nd and 2 here.
Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders to see if maybe either one of those guys can be the answer.
Sampson has the first down.
You know what's crazy is when you read the clips in the newspapers in Cleveland, I can't remember which paper it is, they show the statistics from the best college quarterbacks every week. I mean, they're already projecting the...
How would you feel about Denzel? How would I feel about Denzel Ward backing away from contact today? Do we really think that starting DG would make us worse? Flacco isn't doing anything amazing. I just don't know if we're like, why would we want to throw DG out there when you're playing Micah Parsons next week, Detroit, Minnesota, then Pittsburgh. We all discussed this before the season started. And then it's always interesting to have these conversations before the season. People all understand it and agree, and then it happens and people feel differently about it. But part of why Joe Flacco is out there is, one, he's the most ready to play right now to start the season. Two, you don't want to play a rookie quarterback in the first 6 weeks against those 6 defenses. Like, that's really it. This is why. I mean, if you think this game's bad from Joe Flacco, they probably would have done worse to a rookie. We've seen what they've done to DTR in these kind of a situation. You know? It's a road game. It's against the Baltimore Ravens. What makes you think a rookie's going to be much better in this spot? And as far as Denzel backing away from contact today, I mean, we complain about him always getting concussions. This is what he has to do to stay away from concussions. We just got to make sure it doesn't get to him. Got a super chat from Cottonwood Slim. The offense is keeping the Browns rested. Yeah, delay of game.
be called.
That's bad. I mean, there's just no way around it, right? You can't sugarcoat that. 4th and medium, you have a pretty good chance to get the first down. Then you have a delay game, so now it's 4th and long. That is bad ball.
So it's 6:22 to play in the fourth quarter. We kind of talked about it before. In these spots, this is where the Ravens defense a lot of times really puts the heat on.
Looks like they're rushing 5, maybe more, to try to force Flacco to get the ball in his hands quickly. They dropped it.
Flacco, 6-1, broke it up.
Good play by Tampa Jr.
TJ Tampa timed the slot perfectly.
Tampa's out there instead of Jair Alexander, who struggled mightily last week. Tampa is now the dime back, and that's perfect. That is exactly how you draw it up. Tampa getting that opportunity with Alexander inactive and making the most of it.
And we've talked so much about the Ravens defense, how they were frustrated this past week leading up to this game. They've risen to the occasion here in the second half. Well, they were good in the first half, too.
Well, they certainly have. I mean, not only have they only given up 10 points, but the turnovers.
Yeah.
Wiggins almost had a pick 6, and Roquan Smith did have a fumble return for a touchdown.
36-yard line.
I would say to play a rookie and develop him, but with how quick the fans are to label you a bust, it doesn't make me with this schedule. Thanks. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, people are one bad game from Joe Flacco, and people are like, he should never play again. They're going to do the same shit to Dylan Gabriel. And if Shador goes out there, has a bad game in the first 6 weeks of the season, which would be likely, they're going to do the same thing to him. And then who are we going to play after that, right? After all the fans reject everybody who plays out there. You know what I mean? We knew the first 6 weeks were going to be tough. This is the manifestation of it. It's going to be tough.
They wanted DeAndre Hopkins, and here comes the flags. Cam Mitchell was in on the coverage.
Look,
the Ravens' game plan defensively worked really well. They got Joe Flacco frustrated. That forced Joe Flacco to throw basically a pick 6. And then once that happened, the Ravens had the advantage, right? Once this game became the Browns had to air it out, that gave the Ravens the advantage. That forced Joe into even more mistakes, and that put the game in their hands. Cyclops is better than Wolverine. Seen the Quan touchdown and rushed here immediately. Hey, hats off to Roquan. Hey, he had a great game today. Can't take it away from him. He was balling. Four quarters, he balled today. Gotta give him his credit.
Week about Derrick Henry. You see Linderbaum and Henry both looking up at the Jumbotron, trying to figure out what happened. He actually just passed last week Jim Brown on the all-time rushing touchdown list, which is interesting because stylistically, Jim Brown was like a height, weight, speed phenomenon back when he played, and that's kind of what Derrick Henry is now, just bigger and faster than any other guys that play that position.
On 2nd and 10, they're going to throw it again for Hopkins. Hopkins has got it. Yeah, Mitchell in on the coverage. And the 33-year-old is in the end zone for a second time this year.
And they're going at the slot corner again. I mean, it's been slot corner all day. All day. Cam Mitchell, Miles Harden. If Lamar gets time, it's not a catch. Is that?
Those next-gen stats with separation? How about 0?
No, it's a catch. That's a catch. I mean, it's good coverage by Cam Mitchell. It's just he's not a special player at that position. He's not going to make that kind of play.
Seasons. The Titans. The point after is good. It's 41-10. Lamar has 4 touchdown passes today. But what a safety valve to have with DeAndre Hopkins and his pedigree.
You know what's crazy, too? People are going to see this score, and they're not going to realize what this game was all about. I was just about to ask whether or not we might see Dylan Gabriel.
You're going to see Dylan play now. Regardless of the QB, this is not a competitive team yet. They do have a lot of work to do. Yeah, I mean, they got their ass kicked today. Fortunately, the score doesn't carry over from week to week, so next week they'll have a chance to, win a game. But it's tough. Ravens are a really good team. Ravens are a Super Bowl contender. You're not there yet. Nobody thought this team was contending for a Super Bowl this year. And you're seeing the difference of having that level of quarterback. You're seeing the difference of having those impact players, those veterans, them throwing it. They are definitely trying to run up the score. Who, the Ravens? Absolutely. It's disrespect. You got to remember that when they come back to Cleveland. But, hey, you don't sound cool complaining about shit when you down 10-41. So, you just got to carry that over to the next time you see them if you the Browns.
And here comes Dylan Gabriel.
He'll get some garbage time in. Evan, even as a Raven fans, I've enjoyed your non-Roquan content. Appreciate you, D-Spy.
To get him some reps.
No, today was a bad day for the Roquan agenda. But I know that the NFL season is long, and the Roquan agenda will thrive once again.
Jenkins lowers his shoulders, steps on his feet, hits some Ravens territory, protecting the football, and he's inside the 35, down close to the 30.
Nice hard run there by Quinshawn. I mean, this is going to be about getting Quinshawn just ready to play.
He's kind of like the Thunder, and Samson will end up being the Lightning, right?
40 points, and I still think the defense played great. I think they played well. I think they played great for 3 quarters. I think they kind of took the foot off the gas here late.
They had no runs of 20.
Tom Brady laid out a development plan for QB on Colin Coward. I wonder if our young quarterbacks are getting that level of development. We'll see. We'll see. I got to watch what Tom Brady said about it. Maybe that's a video for later this week. Miles jockstrap will be in Cam's seat on the plane. Oh. And look, man, I don't even think Cam Mitchell played bad. It's just they made some great plays on him, and he's not that great of a player.
Give it to Ford. And Ford inside the 30 to the 27. Teddy Buchanan makes the tackle.
Ravens actually able to get some of their star defensive players out of there. Roquan Smith isn't out.
Yeah, they got their starters out. Yeah, Todd's a great point. We got to get a running game going. Flacco throwing 45 times is not a winning formula. I absolutely 100% agree with that.
Gabriel will throw for the first time in his NFL career. And his pass is complete.
And then fumbled out of bounds.
And that's what he did. I called the preseason game between the Browns and the Eagles. And Gabriel, he'll get the ball out quick. You watched him at Oklahoma or Oregon. He is a very bright young man. That ball comes out of his hand on time when it should.
Yeah, but we got to, with no quarterback we're going to throw out there, whether it be Shador, Dylan Gabriel, or Joe Flacco. They're not, the way the Browns are designed, not going to win very many games if they're running the ball 45 times a game. It's just not going to happen. Right? This is not a team that is designed for that kind of workload from the quarterback. This is not a team that expects that kind of play from the quarterback position. They don't have a quarterback that's good enough to justify that amount of attempts. They've had to, I hate Ray Lewis so much, they've had to throw that ball 45 times because the run game has not been useful for this team. Hopefully, Quinshon Judkins is ready next week. Dylan Sampson has a better showing. I thought Jerome Ford was decent in this game when he got his few opportunities. Like there was some progress in the run game, but this run game is going to have to be able to carry the offense. Right now, we're asking a quarterback to carry the offense who at no point in his career was ever good enough to carry an offense outside of one stretch in the playoffs in 2012. That's just the truth of it. Joe Flacco was always a very good complementary quarterback. But the offense was never built around, let's just have Joe carry the show. The Browns right now are having to ask 40-year-old Joe Flacco to carry the show. And I don't care which quarterback's out there. If you ask rookie Dylan Gabriel or rookie Shador Sanders to do that same thing, you're going to get these same results on offense. This is just, they got to be able to run the ball way better than this. Defense, look, I love how good the defense has been on most times, but the defense also has to get turnovers. As good as this defense has been, no turnovers. That needs to change. And special teams, you can point to like 10 of the points that are due to special teams. So we're not playing good enough to win games against good teams right now for one reason or another, whether it be field goal kicks last week, whether it be just getting your ass kicked this week. We'll see what they do next week. They're playing another good football team. The Packers look like the team that might come out the NFC. That's who they play next week at home. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. These next 6 weeks are going to be hell. I'm saying right now, if you're the Browns, you'd be happy to get out the first 6 weeks with 2 wins. If you get out the first 6 weeks with 2 wins, you feel good about what you could do for the rest of the season. But if you can't get out these first 6 weeks with 2 wins, well, it's going to be pretty tough, man.
And highlights. That's all coming up on the State Farm postgame show. Not necessarily the return to Baltimore that Joe Flacco was hoping for today.
No, not at all. Obviously, he wanted to come back here and play well. 40 family and friends. It's unfortunate for him in that story for sure.
Gabriel finds Bonds. Bonds out of bounds inside the 10. At about the 8-yard line.
It is kind of a good lesson, though, right? Like, there aren't that many fairy tales in the NFL. Like, it's a great story, but then you got to go out there and you got to play well for it to really be, the outcome that Joe wanted. He takes a lot of pride in how he performs. That there's a reason why he's still playing.
Let's try to finish this game out with a touchdown or something, feel good about something, and go on the next week.
So no one's more disappointed in how today went than Joe Flacco. I can assure you of that.
Gabriel to throw under 2 minutes to play.
Got him.
Sampson, the first touchdown pass for Dylan Gabriel goes to Sampson, who makes his first touchdown reception in the National Football League.
Good drop by Dylan. I'm going to be real with you, though. I don't know how much to take away from that. The Ravens are clearly in we don't really give a fuck if they score mode. And they took some of their starters out. So, nice execution. Like to see Dylan make that throw there. Don't know what to take of it. Hey, man, the kicker's been good today. So, there's that.
So 1:50 to play in the fourth quarter. The point after is good. It's 41-17.
Hawaii 5'9", you've seen enough.
More time for John Harbaugh.
Nah, I don't think we should throw any rookie out there intentionally in the first 6 weeks. That's my stance since, April. I'm not moving on that.
That costly loss to cost.
Yeah, especially when the Ravens truly don't give a fuck if they give up their touchdown or not, if we're being honest here.
When the defense is playing like that, the Ravens are as good as any team in football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've got seasoned. They've got some youngsters.
It's interesting because I talked to a lot of the analytics people, Tom, The Ravens are like historically good when you look at yards per play and all. Unfortunately, have a history of, losing some games that they just shouldn't lose.
Wallace will return this one inside the 10 for the Ravens. And he's taken down at the 28-yard line. Well, Lamar Jackson, 19 of 29, 225, but also 4 touchdowns for us today.
Yeah, didn't feel like he had a very good first half at all. That was the one touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, the Browns had multiple opportunities to get an interception here against Lamar, too, that would have really changed the game here, right? Like, so, as much as we're not going to focus on the defense because they're clearly not the biggest problem on the team, they're not really a problem for the team. Opportunities were there for the defense to take advantage of and be able to help the offense be better in this one. You know what I mean? So, not blaming the defense by any stretch of the imagination. Obviously, the offense has to be better and special teams has to be better. But in a week where your offense's life is going to be difficult, you're the better unit. You want the defense to be able to make that play, So there's a lot of things that the Browns are going to wish they had back in this game. You lose 41-17, it's more than one thing wrong, It's unfortunate.
Able to talk to this past week. Talking about his off-season regimen where he was up early, had 2 workouts before he went and met Lamar for another workout.
Well, this is his 3rd year, too, so he keeps performing like this. He will be in line for one of those big contracts that the receivers are getting these days.
Oh, Cooper Rush will take another knee, and that will do it.
All right, so that's going to be the game. Baltimore wins 41-17 here. Real quick, we're going to give a shout-out to the sponsor of the stream, and we're going to check in on the picks that we made. And if you made picks with me today, you might have made money. Let's look at what we have here. All right, so Zay Flowers, over 4.5 receptions. I thought that there was a strong chance that they would go to Zay Flowers a lot in this game with the Browns' weakness being in the slot. Greg Newsome moving left to right. They certainly did that. Zay Flowers, 7 receptions here. 1 carry for 4 yards, 7 of 11, 75 yards. That was a correct call by me. The second bet on this slip, the second prediction on this slip is Derrick Henry. Thought that Derrick would be held under 94 yards. He definitely was. 11 carries, 24 in today's game. Joe Flacco thought he would get over 24 completions. He got 25. And then Josh Allen over half a passing yard. It's one of their free bets that they're giving you. And that was successful as well. So the Browns didn't win for sure. But we made some money if you trusted my knowledge on these picks here. But thank you for Sleeper for sponsoring the stream. Sleeper, by the way, if you want to get in on the fun, use promo code WORSTTAKE. Get a 100% match on up to $100. Again, 100% on up to $100 when you use the promo code WORSTTAKE. Let's check in on some scores around the league before we get into the postgame show. Let's get in here. NFL. All right, so the Bengals just scored on Jacksonville at the end of this game, so it looks like they're going to win that one. The Giants have the ball with 41 seconds left against the Cowboys, 30-34. Bears lose to the Lions, 52-21. I think that offense woke up this week after a slow start last week. Panthers-Cardinals just got started. Cardinals up 7. No score in Baltimore, in between the Colts and the Broncos. Scores that have gone final. Ravens over the Browns. Patriots over the Dolphins. 49ers beat the Saints. Bills beat the Jets. The Seahawks beat the Steelers. And the Rams beat the Titans. Okay, Mookie, you can go ahead and leave then, brother. What are you talking about? But let's get to the post-game show. On Bleacher Report. Now how the Jags managed to lose is beyond me. I don't even know what happened there. Does that Sam Browning beat him? Jake Browning beat him? That's crazy. Wonder if Joe Burrow's okay. That's going to be a big question for Cincinnati. Joe Burrow not ending that game for Cincinnati, but they do beat the Jaguars, which if you're a Browns fan, is a good thing. Browns have their first round pick. So at least there's that. Yeah. Let's go ahead. Here. And let's cancel that. So how did they lose that game? Did Trevor Lawrence fumble? I gotta watch that one.
That does it. Well, they do get it off. Here we go. This play's still alive.
Well, penalty marker in. Washington zigzags. Blockers in front, flips back. ETN has some space. Harrison lays down a block. He flips it, deflected. And Jake Browning leads the comeback. It's Cincinnati's home opener. A wild one at the Jungle.
If you can hear the crowd noise here. What a great feeling for Cincy. Starting the year 2-0, adversity. Joe Burrow goes down. The boys keep playing.
All right, go live on Bleacher Report. And all right. So this was a game from Joe Flacco that we talked about. We all knew was possible from Joe, right? As much as Joe was capable of big games and throwing big passes when he was here, those 6 weeks in Cleveland, some of the other stuff that people forgot that Joe was most certainly capable of was turning the ball over and having a ugly performance. In this game, most certainly was a ugly performance from Joe Flacco. Definitely not the kind of game that he had wanted in his return to Baltimore. Let's get the numbers on this game specifically. It was 25 of 45, 55.6 completion percentage, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Really doesn't do that stat line justice because the 1 interception was awful, and then he also had a fumble loss that got recovered by Roquan Smith of all people and scored for a touchdown. It was a bad day for me, man. It was a bad day for me, my anti-Roquan Smith agenda. All the stuff went wrong for the Cleveland Browns in the second half of this one specifically. Thought in the first half of this game, the Browns defense came out strong. I thought that the Browns defense for most of this game put up a pretty valiant effort against the Ravens. The Ravens, for the longest time, the score was like 2010. Well, not even 2010. It was like 13-3. Ravens had 10 points off of special teams mishaps, right? A missed tackle leads to a huge return by LeJontay Wester that turns into 3 points for the Ravens. And then a blocked punt turns into the Ravens' only touchdown in the first half. Everything else, the Browns were able to shut down defensively. We get into the third quarter. Thought the Browns did a good job defensively against the Ravens. Fourth quarter, once it became clear that the Browns were not going to stop the faucet on the turnovers, we're not going to support the defense, the effort I don't know if the effort went down. I mean, the Ravens just were getting more time to throw. You give Lamar Jackson more time, more opportunity, and Lamar Jackson is going to hurt you. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He's one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history, right? You give a guy like that time to throw, it's going to be a bad day for you. Look, we all know that the Ravens coming into this game were the favorites. I didn't think they would cover 14.5. They more than covered. They kicked our ass today. And you got to give credit to the Ravens where credit is due. I thought Baltimore's defense, tremendous effort. Specifically, somebody I've made fun of a lot because I don't think he makes this effort every week. But this week, most certainly, Roquan Smith was dominant in this game. 4 quarters, made big plays. Certainly, right? I have nothing negative to say about Roquan Smith after this game because he's forced it. I can't say anything bad about somebody who played as well as Roquan Smith did in this one. So shout out to the Ravens defense. They played really well. They made things really hard for the Browns offense. And the difference between the Browns offense and the Ravens offense is simple. The Ravens have a quarterback who, when things are made difficult, he can rise to the occasion and make big plays because he's Lamar Jackson. He's top 3. He's one of the best quarterbacks in football. You can make his life difficult. He can still put 40 on you. Browns did everything to make Lamar frustrated in this one. Successfully made Lamar frustrated. He's still 4 touchdowns on you because he's that damn good. The Browns quarterback is Joe Flacco. Now, even in Joe Flacco's prime, if you played great defense against Joe Flacco, you made life really difficult for Joe, you get a game like this from Joe Flacco, right? Like, whether Joe was 40 or not, this is the kind of stuff that's always been possible against Joe Flacco, and why ultimately the Ravens themselves decided to go from Joe Flacco to Lamar Jackson. Now, here's the issue that the Cleveland Browns have, right? Because I know people are going to fixate on Joe Flacco and say to themselves, we need to bench Joe Flacco or we need to put somebody else in just because Joe Flacco was terrible in this game. And I'm not going to disagree with you. Joe Flacco was terrible in this game. I think the problem for the Cleveland Browns is that they're axing way too much out the quarterback position for a team that does not have a great quarterback on this team right now, right? As far as we know, none of these quarterbacks are Josh Allen, are Lamar Jackson, are Patrick Mahomes. But we're axing Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson level stuff from the quarterback position, and that's not going to lead to a lot of wins this season, right? If you can't lower the axe of this quarterback room, I don't care who it is that's thrown out there, they're not going to be successful. You know, you go out there, you ask Dylan Gabriel to throw 45 times against a defense like the Baltimore Ravens, it's going to be ugly. If you go out there and ask rookie Shedeur Sanders to throw the ball 45 times versus that Baltimore defense, the way they were playing, it's going to be ugly. The Browns don't have the personnel at quarterback to get away with having to throw the ball almost 50 times today. Now, the rushing numbers might fool you if you only look at it in the box score, right? 22 carries, 114 yards from the run game, and 5.2 yards a carry. You might look at that and say, hey, the Browns ran the ball well today. It's not really true, right? Quincy Junkins, I think he got a 31-yard run off in garbage time of this game. If you take that 31-yard run off, what does that then turn into, right? 21, let me do the math here really quick, right? 114 minus 31. We're talking about 83 total yards, 21 carries, 395 a carry. That's mediocre. It's not good. So, yeah, it looks a lot better because you got some chunk plays at the end of that. That's the only one chunk play. I think the Browns got like a lot of rushing yards on that final drive. A lot of that drive was running the ball. because Dylan Gabriel only had 20 yards passing in that drive. So obviously most of that production came from the ground. So, yeah, the running numbers, don't let that fool you today. The Browns didn't run the ball well. Dylan Sampson averaged a yard and a half today, scored a touchdown again in garbage time as a receiver, but wasn't very impressive. I thought Quincy had some moments, but clearly looks like a player who hasn't played football in a while, needs to work his way back. Had those moments where you saw him look like Quincy Judkins in the late part of this game, but the Ravens weren't really giving a damn at that point, right? And I know Dylan had a nice throw at the end of this game. Again, the Ravens didn't care if we scored or not. They were already up by 30 points at that point there. Jerome Ford, I thought, actually did run the ball well today. He was 5 yards a carry. I thought he ran the ball the best out of all the running backs that the Browns ran last week. And I know, people were giving Jerome Ford shit last week. This is why you don't just make decisions off of 1 week of football. Thought Jerome ran the ball well. We'll see what he does for the rest of the season. A disappointing day, I think, for Jerry Jeudy. The stats aren't going to reflect it. 4 receptions, 51 yards. But 8 targets. I thought he had 2 legitimate drops in this game. And just didn't get open as much as I think he wanted to get open today. Harold Fannin was fine, 5 receptions, 48 yards. David Njoku, about what I expected from him, 4 receptions, 40 yards here. Look, if you want to know what went wrong in this game, Jerome Ford had 5 receptions for 23 yards. And, it's not like that's a bad number. But Jerome Ford getting the ball 5 times when he's a check down option most of the time, 6 targets in this game, that tells you that they were able to clamp down everything because his run game wasn't successful. If this run game cannot become a threat, this offense is going to struggle because they're not equipped at quarterback to throw this ball 50 times. It doesn't matter who plays. That quarterback's not going to be set up for success when they have to throw the ball 48 times. Obviously, in those 48 attempts, Joe Flacco could have made better decisions, and this could have been much, much less worse. I'm not debating that. Joe was terrible in this game. But any quarterback put in that situation is still not going to be put in a situation to beat a guy like Lamar Jackson when you can't get this ground game going. So that's really got to be the focus. The Browns got to get a real ground game going before they get out this 6-week stretch. And look, we know this 6-week stretch was going to be brutal in the preseason. Before the Green Bay Packers traded for Micah Parsons, we always understood that this 6-week stretch would be brutal. I know some people want to put in Dylan Gabriel right now just because they're mad at Joe Flacco for shitting it up today. But the way I think about it, nothing's changed from the spring. I'm not putting a rookie quarterback, no matter who they are, out there intentionally in the first 6 weeks this season. You play Green Bay next week. You play Detroit in Detroit after that. You play Minnesota, and then you play Pittsburgh. I'm not putting a rookie quarterback in those situations. And if you're the Browns in these first 6 games, you really got to find a way to get 2 wins. You lead this 6-game stretch 2-4, I think you have a chance to make something of the season if you can get out this stretch 2-4. If you can't get out this stretch 2-4, then I think you're going to have a very difficult time making anything of this season as far as even looking like you might be able to compete for a playoff spot or being competitive at the end of the year. The schedule lightens up after these first 6 weeks, but these first 6 weeks, they're brutal. They're just as brutal as we thought they were going to be. Green Bay's better than we thought they were going to be. That's who's up next. The first 3 weeks of the season, you're playing probably, 3 top 10 quarterbacks? Maybe even you can say 4 top 10 quarterbacks if you include Jared Goff in that run. So it's going to be tough for this defense. The offense has to make their life easier by being more successful on the ground. I think also, look, I'm not going to blame the defense for losing this game at all. But I will say that the defense has things that they can improve on as well, right? And again, not blaming the defense. Obviously, the reason the Browns lost the game today, bad special teams play, not by the kicker, but by coverage units, and like punt block team. So bad special teams play, bad offensive play really drove this loss. But if you're looking at things for the Browns defense to improve, they got to get a turnover in a game like this, right? We know that the Browns' ability to score against a team like the Ravens is going to be difficult. You're going to need help from special teams. You're going to need help from your defense. Now, your special teams didn't help you score at all today. They actually helped the Ravens score today. So you're already in a bad spot. There were so many times in this game where they got a tip ball off or an opportunity to get a turnover, punch the ball loose from Derrick Henry, force a fumble, and we just couldn't do it. For this defense to be able to carry this team to a positive record this year, given the fact that we don't have a quarterback right now, we're going to need this defense to capitalize on turnover opportunities. We're going to need this defense to be very opportunistic, and we're going to need this defense to be more than very good. Right? Today they were very good, and very good got your ass beat. We need this defense to be elite, and an elite defense gets turnovers. The Ravens in this game got turnovers, right? Browns, fumble, quarterback fumble, they turned it into a touchdown. Interception, they turned it into a touchdown. Ravens, 14 points off turnovers. Their defense played better than your defense. Now, their job was a lot easier. The Ravens' job was asked to stop a bad run game in Joe Flacco. That's a lot different than being asked to stop Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. Yes, their job was harder, but they made the plays. They got the turnovers. They were more opportunistic than the Cleveland Browns. And ultimately, the Browns were not opportunistic defensively in this game. There were multiple opportunities for interceptions. There were multiple opportunities to get a fumble. They didn't get those opportunities. They weren't opportunistic enough. Now, that's not what cost you this game. It could have made the game closer, but it's not what cost you this game. But it could have made this game more competitive, and when a game is competitive, who knows what can happen, right? Again, we're not just asking the Browns defense to be good this year. We're asking them to be great. We're asking them to be elite, and this was not an elite performance by this defense, especially in the fourth quarter where you gave up 3 straight touchdown drives, 110-play, 66-yard drive when the game was still relatively close. Like what happened in the third and fourth quarter this game just can't happen for this defense, and you got to get more turnovers. Again, not going to blame the defense for this game because for most of this game, deep into the third quarter, until the Joe Flacco interception, the score was 3-13. The Browns had ample opportunity to score and make this happen. This ain't on the defense, but if we're looking for things to improve, those are things that could improve here, right? And it's a delicate line to balance because I want to be critical of the Browns offense for not being good, not executing, while also not dismissing the fact that the Ravens have a really good defense. But somebody's got to make a play, right? And in a situation like that, that's where I look at a dude like Jerry Jeudy and I'm disappointed. That's where I look at, for somebody else to step up and be a difference maker, right? You know your quarterback's not elite, but you think Jerry Jeudy's really good. So you want Jerry Jeudy to be more than decent in this game. He was decent. Decent wasn't good enough. If you want to beat a team like Baltimore, and next week, if you want to beat a team like the Green Bay Packers, being good, getting your numbers, it's not enough. You need Jerry Jeudy to step up and be an impact player in this game. You need David Njoku to have a big game, right? You need Quinshawn Judkins or Jerome Ford or Dylan Sampson to ignite this run game. That's what it's going to take. You're going to need guys to step up, and nobody stepped up on offense to a sufficient amount. None of your star players gave you star-like performances. Everybody just kind of gave you a pedestrian one, and pedestrian gets your ass beat against an elite team like the Baltimore Ravens. It's really the reality of it. The good thing for the Browns is that scores don't carry over in the next week. You're not going to carry this ass whooping over to Green Bay, but the job is still going to be difficult. The job doesn't get any easier for the Browns defense. The job doesn't get any easier for the Browns offense. They're going to have to try to win a game against a team that's better than them in the first 6 weeks of this season. That's the reality of it. We can bitch and moan and complain about, what's fair, what's not. Our kicker should make a field goal, all this stuff. But the reality is that for the Browns to have a season that they can have the opportunity to do anything with, they're going to have to beat a team that's better than them. And Green Bay's better than you. The Lions, they're better than you. The Vikings, they're better than you right now. The Steelers, they're a better football team than you right now. How do you beat a team that's better than you? 1, got to execute a lot cleaner than you did today. 2, you got to get some turnovers. And 3, you got to make big plays. Your best players got to make impactful, game-changing plays. That's really it. You need that to happen. You're not going to beat Micah Parsons and the Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love and all of that. You're not going to beat it playing great defense and okay offense. You're going to need elite defense. You're going to need to get some turnovers in that game to win it. You're going to need to have Jerry Jeudy step up and look like a star player. You're going to need David Njoku to step up and look like a star player. You're going to need Quincy to have a big game on the ground, or maybe Dylan Sampson. You're going to need that to beat a team that's better than you this year. The same goes for Detroit. The same goes for the Vikings. The same goes for the Steelers in Pittsburgh. The job's going to be tough, and if you're the Browns and you want to beat any of those teams in these next 4 weeks, I don't care who the quarterback is. It's probably going to be Joe Flacco. But no matter who the quarterback is, we don't got a guy on this roster who's a 40-attempt guy, who's a 50-attempt guy. If we had that guy on the roster, he'd be starting right now. There's no Josh Allen here to save us like there was for the Bills last week against the Ravens. We don't got Joe Burrow coming off the bench, right? We got rookies. You're not going to win games with these dudes throwing the ball 45, 50 times, and that's what happened today. So they got to figure that out. The Browns can't rely on this much passing to move the offense and think that they're going to be successful. So they got to figure out how to get this run game going, and it has to be more than Jack Conklin getting healthy. They got to figure it out, because if you go into Green Bay and you throw against Green Bay 50 times, I don't care who the quarterback is, you're losing that game, and it's going to be embarrassing. You throw the ball 50 times against the Lions, you're going to lose that game, and it's going to be embarrassing. Same thing with the Vikings. Same thing with the Steelers. So got to find a way to be more competitive on the ground, or else this team's not giving itself a chance to win. The defense has to find ways to get turnovers, or else they're not giving themselves a real chance to win. That's it. We can sit here and blame it on one guy or not. All of these things. The special teams unit. What's going on with this? How do we leak 6 points, 4 points last week against the Cincinnati Bengals, where you miss an extra point and you miss a field goal that are very makeable? And then this week, you allow a big punt return, and then you allow a block punt. What's going on with special teams? It was one thing when the kicker missed last week. That's really just on the kicker, right? The special teams coach's job isn't to tell the kicker how to kick. But the special teams coordinator job is to handle these protections on punts. The special teams coordinator's job is to handle punt coverage. And both of those things cost you 10 points this week. You're not going to win games like that. We're not going to win games with the level of talent we have on offense when we're not playing complementary football. It's really that simple. No side of the ball was good enough to beat an elite team like the Baltimore Ravens today. I know Browns fans don't want to hear that, but that's the truth. No side of the ball was good enough. Offense especially definitely wasn't good enough. Led to all the special team stuff, right? They were the main domino that fell today. But the defense wasn't good enough, special teams wasn't good enough, and the offense was a disaster. Not going to beat an elite team with that kind of effort. It's not going to happen. It's never happened in the history of football. Next week you play the Packers. And guess what? Same freaking rules. You don't play complimentary football. If you don't play well on special teams, you don't play well on defense and offense, you're going to get your ass beat again. That's what it is. That's what it is. Joe Flacco today, I think he came into this game wanting to make shit happen. And he made shit happen just now for the Browns. We'll see what they do going forward. I think just because if you look at this schedule, it's just not something you want to throw a rookie quarterback into. You probably avoid playing a rookie quarterback until you get to middle of October. But boy, do it look like we on that path. Like after the first 6 weeks, I don't know what else justifies Joe Flacco being out there if this is just what Joe Flacco looks like. We'll see what happens next week. Maybe Joe has a good game. People do the victory lap. Everything's so week to week nowadays with fans, right? Either a player's terrible one week and then he's the best thing ever the next week. It's so fickle. But we'll see. We'll see. Obviously, you need better performances to win against a team like Baltimore. This is a team that you got to play well against to beat, and you didn't play well against them. It's really that simple. We're going to get to some chats here. Block Sky. Okay, we're going to. Yeah, can the mods get going in here? I can't block anybody right now. Yeah. All right. Oh, there he is. Yeah. There it is. All right. So let's get to some super chats here. Yeah, Sins Killed You said on the bright side, they fixed the kicking. At least Andre Schmidt decided not to add to this. But, we'll see what happens. Right? I'm not fully convinced that we should trust Andre Schmidt going forward. But, yeah, I can't blame Andre Schmidt for this one. He was not the problem. Torok Booming says, a lot to be optimistic about with this rookie class. I have accepted the fact that this is going to be a year to develop the young players. Yeah, I mean, that's good, right? That you got some things to be optimistic about with the rookie class. I do worry about, you got to win games to cement some of this positive growth here, right? We're not playing at a level where I think we're going to be able to win games right now unless we get something to change in the run game. So, hopefully what we saw at the end of that game from Quincy is going to be what he's going to play like next week, because we desperately need somebody to make our run game a lot more dangerous than it is right now. Christopher says, I understand what you're saying about quarterback play. How long can you expect the team morale to stay high if the offense can't do anything? This is getting close to folding if nothing improves soon. I don't think they're close to folding. It's week 2. Here's what I'll say, right? It's everybody has to understand the situation. The Browns have to understand the Browns understand what their quarterback situation is. They know it's not great, but if you're the defense, you got to make the offense's life easier, right? Sometimes the offense isn't going to make your life easy, but if you're the defense, you got to find ways to make the offense's life easier. You got to get turnovers. If you're special teams, you can't do anything to make the defense's life more difficult or the offense's life more difficult. And that happened in this game. The offense's life and the defensive lives were made more difficult by special teams blunders. We have to understand that we have to make plays to compensate for the fact that we don't have an elite quarterback. You can win games like that. It's been done before, but it requires the Browns being much better at special teams than they are right now. And, it requires us not putting our quarterback in a situation where he's trying to play hero ball when he's not good enough to play hero ball. You know what I mean? That's really what it's going to take. Yeah, I think the defense played well up until the fourth quarter. Once they got into the fourth quarter, things got a little shaky defensively. The slot corner issue became a big problem for them, right? That's something I want to bring up too. Again, the problems the offense has are just so glaring right now that we're not going to get to some of the other stuff here. But defensively, we're seeing that thing that we worried about during training camp, during the offseason, which is the slot corner not being great post Martin Emerson injury. That injury really left a hole in the secondary that I think they're having a really, really hard time filling because Cam Mitchell's not up to the task. Miles Harden is not up to the task. That's where the Ravens attack the most. And it's like, hey, if the Browns don't get immediate pressure and get a sack, they get to target that slot corner and they got anybody decent working that slot, it's going to be positive money for them. So, the corner depth is not helping itself either. On top of the fact that the Browns defense is just not getting the turnovers that we need them to get. And again, it's tough to ask the defense for all of this stuff. We're asking so much from our defense. But unlike the offensive side of the ball where we don't have, elite players on that offensive side of the ball, we don't have an elite leader of that offense, right? We do have that on defense. So I feel more comfortable asking way more of the defense than I need of the offense. And that's another example of where the defense needs to step up and be better than they were this week. So I don't want to give the Browns defense off the hook. At the end of the day, the Ravens scored 40 points, and it's never a good thing when a team scores 40 points on you. I understand that like 14, maybe even 18 of those points, not even 18, 17 of those points plus 10 of those, like 27 of these points you can blame on different units, right? Special teams and offense, but still you want to see your defense be responsible for some points too in a game like this if you're trying to win it. And they didn't do that. So, they need to be better in that aspect as well. Either way, if you want to know what happened in this game, why the Browns lost it, the too long didn't read, it's simple. The Ravens were a better football team than you. They made the big plays that needed to be made. They made the turnovers that needed to be made. They have a great quarterback who was able to make plays despite the fact that the defense was getting at them pretty consistently. And the Browns don't have a great quarterback, don't have a good offense right now. And the Ravens defense, I thought, gave a tremendous effort versus this team. The Ravens gave you their best shot, and they're a better football team than you, and we all saw it. And it's up to the Browns to try to rectify that the next time that they see Baltimore. But that's really it. That's really it. It's not much more complicated than that. I want to thank everybody who joined me on Bleacher Report. Also want to thank everybody who joined me on my other platforms. Y'all have a great day. Have an even